accident, one thing leads to another. Your injury leads to treatment. Treatment leads to hospital bills. Bills lead to debt. Debt leads to stress. The advocates can help relieve that stress. Having an advocate attorney on your side leads to faster resolutions, fair outcomes, and a peaceful recovery for you. You deserve an advocate.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, the Monty Show live on Wednesday, July the 30th. I said it's July 30th already. You guys, July the 30th is where we are at. I cannot even believe July's over. Your kids are heading back to school. There's going to be a lot more kids on bicycles. There's going to be a lot more kids on the street. Make sure that you slow down. And if the worst happens, get to theadvocates.com. Traffic accidents. Hey, you get into an accident because a lot more people are on the road. Semis, bicycles. Take it easy. The Advocates got you covered. Clear, risk-free advice. That's what you get when you go to the Advocates at theadvocates.com. And the best part is you never reach into your pocket to scratch the Advocates a check. You don't pay them. No. You pay the Advocates when they win your case. So the Advocates don't get paid unless and until they win your case. What do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose by talking to the injury attorney experts at theadvocates.com. Big show as always for you. A lot of coaches seem to be on the hot seat, and a very interesting, I don't know, do we get into this discussion about who's getting fired first? When does Lincoln Riley get whacked? Like, you're so excited to talk about Lincoln Riley getting fired today. I'm not that guy. I actually think Lincoln Riley's in a good place. But before we get to all of this nonsense yahooery over who are we firing, Tremaine Carroll is the strength and conditioning coach at USC. Should we be optimistic about USC football after their strength and conditioning coach? You know, he lifts weights, he makes you run sprints, he gets you, less fat and stuff. Should we be excited about USC football when their strength and conditioning coach says this?
Man, just how you do one thing is how you do everything, So our workout was supposed to be, we were supposed to do some half gashes that day, but we didn't make it to them. We didn't make it for the simple reason that how you do one thing is how you do everything. So that workout was a warm-up, learning the standard when it comes to how we warm up for one full hour. Then we obviously, because of CARA and compliance, we had to cut the workout at that point. So, but I think they got the message because they responded well the next day.
Listen, bro, if you don't know Coach True, he is a bad dude. He's going to get you in shape. But wait a minute. You got to USC and dudes didn't even know how to warm up for a workout. That's essentially what he just said. Yeah, we never got to the workout because I had to teach him how to warm up for the workout. And I'm like, yeah. How worried should we be about USC this year?
I mean, I don't think you should be worried per se. I think that
really,
I think hearing bites like that, I actually feel a little more optimistic. I would rather be hearing them talking about doing everything right than hey, we're going to win a national championship and we're USC and we're amazing and the usual shtick coming out of USC land. It was actually nice to hear someone other than Lincoln Riley talk, and it was nice to hear someone who was on staff, not someone that you would hear from all the time, talking about that. Yeah, we're not letting them slide on lazy ass warm-ups or any of that other stuff. Because I really do believe that's what it takes to win in college football and really in any sport. Like everything that you do has to be top notch.
I'm just a little, how shall we say, I'm a little surprised that USC football players didn't know how to warm up for a workout. That's a little surprising to me. I'll be honest with you. We've talked all year about how much you hate Lincoln Riley and you think he sucks as a football coach. And you're all excited about how Lincoln Riley is going to get fired and USC is going to suck. And I'm here to tell you now I got to get on board with that. I actually don't. But hearing him say that you don't even know how to warm up for a workout's a little surprising. What is Lincoln Riley doing? And maybe I'm just reading too much into this fight and I'm overreacting to it.
Well, I mean, I think saying they don't know how to warm up might be strong. I think what he's certainly saying is there's a standard that we're going to set with everything that we do. So they were not meeting that standard. They didn't understand the standard, and now they do. And I think that's why I felt like it was actually an encouraging thing, because I was like, all right, great. Like you're not even allowing them to get to the practice because you're making sure that you spent over an hour with them, quote unquote, warming up and teaching them how to do it the right way. And I think that I'm not saying that USC and Lincoln Riley has like Nick Saban level culture in the program, but it harkens back to the whole thing of like, tuck your shirt in, the Dion thing of wearing the correct colored socks in the weight room. Like when you hear stuff like this, like typically the team's going in the right direction. So I just hope that, if
you think so,
I do.
Okay.
And I think that, coming off of last year, there were a lot of issues last year. One of the main issues they had was tackling technique and ability and execution on defense.
And not getting your ass kicked in the middle of the field.
Tackling comes down to details and fundamentals, which they were not executing on last year. So all I'm saying is I just think it's good this time of year in August when fall camp is just now opening. We're already hearing like, hey, no, we didn't even practice because we're cracking the whip on these dudes to do things the right way.
Well, my hope is that all of the rumors that we've heard for 18 months about, Lincoln Riley last year changed the culture. I think we saw that on the field. Much better defense, much better tackling. This offseason, we've heard all about how it's an NFL-style system, that Lincoln Riley and his coaches are communicating at a high level. And then you hear Coach True come out and say, well, they couldn't even warm up properly without stretching a groin. And it's like, dude, is Lincoln Riley coaching for his job? I don't know how he's not at this point. You're in debt as a university. Right? He hasn't won since he's been there. He has one of the best recruiting pipelines in the country right now. At some point, that has to turn into tackles on defense. Right? And I think the other important question here is, how important is length and girth in college football?
I don't really get hung up on the running back's weight, but it is good that you have some that have some girth to them. But there's no doubt you need length and girth in this league up front, and I think it.
Should I just stop it right there?
Length and girth.
It's over. It's over.
He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing.
Length and girth.
You knew that you were gaslighting the Monty Show chat on that when you were sitting up there on that dais. You knew that the flammable guys that make up this chat room, brother, are waiting for a length and girth.
Length and girth.
You know that is the case in on this show,
bro.
And
like,
I think that yes, exactly right. The bigger shock, and there's a bunch of comments now. The bigger shock is that this isn't the head coach or the strength and conditioning coach at Penn State, right? Like that's the big shock. But you knew when you dropped this just absolute hydrogen bomb of death on the Monty Show chat session that they were going to lose their mind.
I don't really get hung up on the running back's weight, but it is good that you have some that have some girth to them. But there's no doubt you need length and girth in this league up front, and I think at linebacker too, and it helps if you have it in the secondary. I tell guys all the time when they're recruiting these guys from an offensive perspective, when we're talking about open receivers, length matters. Both sides, you can have a shorter receiver that's actually winning a route, by 2 yards, but the length of that DB gives it, and according to that receiver, it gives you no window. The quarterback doesn't really feel like that's a window. Whereas if the receiver is here and the DB's there, I see that window. And so length matters there, and it certainly matters up front.
Come on, Hugh.
Bro.
Come on.
Dude.
Length and girth.
Yeah, and,
Come on,
and
bro.
it's even worse when Lane Kiffin is giving you a face slap emoji because you said length and girth. Right? Like you
I
knew.
didn't think that we were going to be able to top the Wolf of Wall Street,
Woof.
bro. Like, honest to God, when Buddy was up there doing his thing, I didn't think we were topping this.
The Wolf of Wall Street.
Like the weirdness, the awkward table tapping, and now Buddy's out here rocking length and girth.
Length
bro.
and girth.
Like, come on.
I have never.
I mean, listen, I understand that we're
Wow.
in a clickbait culture, and you got to get eyeballs on you on X. But good Lord, dude,
Well,
how?
Length and girth.
I mean, at least this isn't who hasn't done that 1,000 times, right? At least this isn't Jared talking about smiles and glory holes. I like there's is this as
Smiles
yeah.
and glory
Is
holes.
this as bad as my guy Signetti going Ohio State on America the other day at Big Ten Media Day?
Ohio State?
Probably not. But did we really need cock talk?
Length and girth.
Come on. You knew what you were doing, Hugh. You damn well knew what you were doing to the comments.
Timothy.
You knew what you were doing in the comment section on this show. I took it personally.
You should have.
You know. Wasikowski says Jake knows all about length and girth with all the golf pants.
Yeah, package peeper.
I mean, well, you are kind of a package creeper.
I never sucked any ding dong.
Right? I mean, that's you're shooting me over some Bryson pictures.
Length and girth.
Well, I mean, clearly, look at the length of that shaft he's rocking. Right? Like, we all knew what Hugh was doing. And as much as I appreciate the help with show prep, not this kind of show prep.
The biggest load that we've seen.
Yeah, not this kind of show prep. Right? Mike Smith, Media Days bringing the sound drops, right?
Yeah, dude.
Come on. The King of Thailand, Oak State James, we need a ruling on length and girth. No, we don't.
Bro, we have a whole Oak State James reset today, dude. Bro, do you guys see what's going on down in Tempe? You see what Kenny talked about today? We're going to get to that today. IPF special.
I did when I heard that bite. I want you all to know how much I just don't ever want to think about Oak State James at night when it's dark in my bedroom. Which is why I was glad that I saw this bite in about the 11 o'clock hour.
I don't know if people know this, but we're in process of trying to build an indoor facility. That's our big project. We want to get it fundraised here in the next 5 months to get a shovel in the ground here in the next 6 months. So it's here in 2 years from today, which is the goal. We want to move it over by the football field. We want to use that indoor facility for tailgating in the future. So we have an indoor tailgating location for fans to come and make it an awesome tailgate experience, like the 16th hole of the Waste Management Open. We want to create the 16th hole of the Waste Management Open, or as close as we can to it, in our indoor facility by our stadium here. And we just got to fundraise enough money to do it. So it's good for us. It'll be good for our football team. It'll be good for the fans if we can get it done.
James,
I want a video. Video. I don't want any excuses.
You're slipping, James.
No excuses, dude.
And I understand that the rectory doesn't have internet service, and so this just slipped under the radar. But listen, bro, you got to be better than this. How are you not telling the Dill Master that it's too hot to have the 16th hole at the Weight Management Phoenix Open in Tempe in September?
I knew today would be shitty.
Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be outside partying in December at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Tempe. when your skin is melting off your face.
Y'all feel me?
Right? Like nobody wants that in
Nobody,
September.
dude.
Even October, it's still hot.
The Wolf of Wall Street.
Right?
He
Like,
doesn't
yeah.
even want it,
The
bro.
Wolf don't even want this.
Like, come on. Damn.
Which is wild. So you can see this is how we start the show and stuff.
I mean, how is
Now.
it the same week we get in the Big 12, we get Dave Aranda just looking like
Woof.
an absolute weirdo. Yeah, Wolf looking like an absolute weirdo.
Woof.
And then Kenny's out here talking about building IPFs to party in.
You know.
And then you've got the SEC, which, you know, we're an SEC homer show.
And don't forget Coach Prime pissing himself.
Right.
Right? Don't forget Kirk Signetti
Yeah,
with
depending on depends.
with the depressed eyeballs in his skull ready to murder you.
Ohio State.
Right? Like, I mean,
Jesus.
and probably the Wolf of Wall Street was a bit much.
There's a scene in The Wolf of Wall Street when they're talking about throwing midgets, and it's like, hey, this midget, can he, can he roll there? And he go, no, he doesn't roll. You throw him. You know what I mean? And they're made for throwing. And then after a while, they start talking, and they go, well, you know what? I think if you start talking, they may think they know we're making fun of them. The midgets may think that we're making fun of them. So then I'm gonna start, they may get mad at us. And then the guys go, well, what we need to do is make them think they're one of us. And they go, one of us, one of us. And I think that's the thing with coaching, call it recruiting, is it's that way. They talk about acquiring players, getting rid of players, just like that. And the whole thing underneath all that is they make them think they're one of us. You know what I mean? And it's
No, I don't. I don't know what you mean.
No.
Could you explain the whole midget thing again for me,
Wolf
please?
of Wall Street.
I don't understand that. And then, I mean, listen, this might be one of the best all-timers. And I just want you to know that we have sources on the show who sent us a picture of Kirk Signetti on the golf course.
Ohio State.
Tell me that doesn't look. You guys know who this is? This is the homie that ripped off his shirt and said something to the effect of, "Do you want to go to hell? Because I've been there." Right? And immediately when I saw the great Kirk Signetti, who has eyeballs in the back of his skull, like, look how similar he is. And tell me that Kirk Signetti's not a psycho.
Here's the bottom line, okay? We picked up an extra home game, and we play 9 conference games. The 2 best conferences in college football, any football guy that's objective will tell you, is the Big Ten and the SEC. All right? 12 this.
Tell me that does not. Tell me psycho golf course guy is not Kirk Signetti.
Google me.
Dude, that looks just like
Google
him.
Me. Google me.
That looks just like Captain Google
It's
Me.
been a weird ass week with media days. Dude.
It has been a crazy week.
It's just strange.
My God. Mike Smith, Aranda has a condition that professionals call cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I'm with you.
The Wolf of Wall Street.
I mean, it's wild to me. Dave Aranda is off the effing deep end. Like, what? Where did you come up with like midgets as lawn darts? And then one of us. It's one of the craziest things I've ever heard. Right? The Wolf says Ohio State on the golf course.
Ohio State.
Tell me that's not him.
The Wolf of the Rectory?
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Anyway, I think this has not been the most. This week has not had the most proud moments in coach speak, right? Whether it's midgets as lawn darts, Ohio State, length and girth, Hugh Freeze, right? Like
length and girth,
right? Like it just has not
The Wolf
been.
of Wall Street.
It has not been an ideal week.
Yeah.
So then you start hearing about Big 12 football coaches on the hot seat, and I think half this league should be on the hot seat. Now, are they? Probably not. But we can go round and round, right? And we can talk about guys that have to win now. And whether that is Kleiman, whether that is Kalani and Witt, or Joey McGuire in what I think has to be one of the most expensive football programs in the country at Tech right now. If Joey McGuire doesn't go to the college football playoff, how is he not on the hot seat?
I'm a man.
When you start looking at the numbers in this league, Jake, I think more of these guys should be on the hot seat than they probably really are.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to expectations. I mean, you think about like a lot of the ratings and rankings you see in the offseason, and it's seemingly every day that someone puts out a ranking of who's on the hot seat or what's the over under on wins, like who's going to be in the CFP. And I think the biggest issue is that the expectations don't line up nationally versus what's in the Big 12. And I think when you look at this graphic, like, I don't even disagree that Billy Napier's probably got the hottest seat in the country. Like, I just think with everything that's gone on there, like, the expectations are really high. You've got a lot of talent. I'm good with all that. But
when you say the hottest seat in the country, you think he is the most likely guy to be fired?
In my opinion, I would have fired him after last season. I would have, no question about it. He'd have been gone.
But isn't this the Aranda problem? Because you can fire him after last season, but they won games late.
Yeah.
Right? And if Wolf kept his job,
yeah,
and now Billy keeps his job, like, I think that's saying something. But I think the one guy in this league that is even, I think, could be out before the season's over, good old number 5, Cinco de Mayo, Brent Brennan. Because they're bad. And not only are they bad, they are not talented. And when you look at the Big 12, you don't have time not to be competitive. You just don't. And when I look at the belief system that goes into who should be fired and who should be kept, well, sure, we can sit here and say, I think Wolf should have been fired last year.
Right.
Right? Like, I have no doubt that program's not going in the right direction. Dave Aranda's not a guy that I think can rebuild a program that he never built in the first place.
Wolf of Wall Street.
And I feel pretty certain that, listen, this is a dude that probably should have been fired, but he wasn't. Right? I think Mike Gundy at Oak State should have been fired, but he wasn't. I look at people like Kyle Whittingham. Kyle Whittingham should not have been fired. If the same thing were to occur this year, yeah, you got to make a change. I don't think, and you won't even have to tell with that, right? But there are some obvious choices. And I think Arizona, and listen, Rich Rodriguez sat on the show several years ago and said he can't recruit to Tucson.
Yeah.
While he was the head coach at Arizona.
Well, and I would go one step further, and I would say if you're in Arizona's shoes right now with what's going on in Tempe, I think it's a little unrealistic to expect that, if a kid's looking at Arizona State versus Arizona, you're losing that fight. And the only way to win that fight or start winning that fight is to get a much younger guy in there who's super energetic, runs a really good program, and makes it attractive. But the problem is there's just not a lot of those guys out there. And what's difficult is Kenny's got this great story where he goes to ASU. He's been there for a while. Now he's the football coach. Like, so he's got all this great stuff going on. And all jokes aside, this IPF idea, I think, is exactly why Kenny Dillingham is one of the best, if not the best coach right now in the Big 12, because it's a brilliant concept. Like, not only does that help you win more football games because your facility would be much closer to the stadium. It works. Like, obviously you're practicing indoors a lot in the summer. It makes a lot of sense. But then the idea that you could, revenue generate off of that through a tailgating experience, I think just makes perfect sense. So I just think that Kenny Dillingham is doing all the right things right now. And his AD is in line. Did an interview today talking about how he and coach have talked about it and they know the number and what they got to do.
Yeah.
So I just think that they're all in line. And I think the hard part is guys like Brent Brennan and, other folks in the leagues, the Scott Frosts of the world, they're just not. They're just not that guy. So again, when we look at who's on the hot seat and who's not, I do think that there are several guys in this league who should be, who are not, because their university just seemingly doesn't care. And then there are other guys who know if they have a terrible year this year, they're going to retire. Like, that's the difference. And that's what I think the Big 12 struggles with.
Yeah, I am very curious to see who gets whacked first. And when you look at the fan base, just think of all the people we talk to on a regular basis. A lot of Big 12, a lot of SEC. I mean, you got 20,000 people watching the show. I imagine we have a pretty good spread of people across the country, right? And I think the hard part is, like, I'm a Notre Dame fan. I think Marcus Freeman is, I don't believe he'll ever win a national championship at Notre Dame. And I don't mean to rail about this, but I got kicked in the balls for like an hour today, texting with a friend of mine who is a diehard USC booster. Just going on about, well, you guys don't even have a quarterback. I don't want to hear about our strength and conditioning coach. How about you find a quarterback? We don't have a quarterback. And everybody knows it. Marcus Freeman ain't winning a national championship, right? Lou Holtz ain't walking through that door anytime soon. And so when I look at programs across the league, dude, I don't think there's any doubt. Venables at Oklahoma, for instance, if he does not have a big season, tell me again how he should, and what's the justification for keeping his job?
What's a big season? 9 wins?
No, you got to go to the college football playoff.
Yeah, good luck, dude.
You cannot. In the SEC, did you join the SEC for the paycheck or to win big games? Right? Because we can sit here and we can talk about Ohio State. Ohio State is they're going to play in big games every single week. Is Oklahoma?
Oh, Oklahoma will play in big games.
Yeah, I don't think
that doesn't mean that they're going to win big games.
Are games against Oklahoma big games where you're like, hell yeah, we're going to Norman? No, they're not. They're not. And you can look at that league top to bottom, and you have to ask yourself, where does Oklahoma fit into that league? I don't think it's are you telling me that Oklahoma is going to be top 5 in the SEC?
Well, but that's my point, is what's a big year for Oklahoma? Like, I think it's asking a lot, especially given what's going on at Texas right now, for Oklahoma to just walk in there and be like, yeah, we're going to take all the best talent. We're going to be able to compete for the SEC.
But you have a pretty light schedule. Right? You have a light schedule at Oklahoma. You're playing Illinois State, Michigan, at Temple, Auburn, Kent State. Texas is your first real game. That's October 11th. Your first real game is October 11th.
Look at that run they go on in the back half of the schedule, dude.
Right, but that's the SEC. Oh, strength of schedule. Fine. They're not deep. That league sucks. They're top heavy. That's life in the SEC. You've got to go to the playoffs in the SEC. Don't you have to win 10 games? Is Oklahoma a team that strikes you as that can win 10 games this year?
No.
Can they? Sure. Will they? Absolutely not.
I'm not. I don't even know that I would agree. Can they?
I don't think there's any chance that they're winning 10 games. I don't see that. I don't believe that. And I could be wrong. I am down that I just don't know anything about Oklahoma football. But I do, and they're not gonna. And I'm telling you, Venables isn't that guy. He is not that guy. And I would go as far as to say, if Lincoln Riley has a crappy year at USC and gets whacked, do you not rehire him the second he's available at Oklahoma?
Just say that. How do you not?
I think you absolutely would.
How do you not?
I think you absolutely would. And maybe I'm too blunt about it, but when I look at the SEC, we're not in this league for hot cheerleaders and fresh beer at the stadium, right? We're in this league to win championships, and Oklahoma's nowhere near winning a championship. They're not even in anybody's mind. And this, you got to remember what it was. And I'm not talking about Barry Switzer. I'm talking about Bob fucking Stoops. I'm talking about Lincoln Riley, who I agree didn't win championships, but Lincoln Riley took you to the door. He just couldn't get you through. Brent Venables doesn't even know how to get to the front door. Like, they have been terrible under him. And I just don't think that changes. I don't think that changes. And when you look at their schedule, they don't have a game of consequence until October 11th against Texas. Simple as that.
I mean,
right?
I'm just gonna put this out here. I mean, they've got, you look at odds, boys in Vegas. I mean, they got one of the highest odds to win the SEC at plus 2,500. Like, you're not even close. So I don't know, man. I guess it comes down to how Oklahoma leadership views the program, because I would agree that if you said, hey, well, is Oklahoma a brand that should be able to compete in the SEC? Yeah, of course. Of course. I think we all agree with that. But at the same time, Oklahoma hasn't really been that guy since Lincoln left. And the trouble is you had one great game against Texas that everyone talks about, and that's kind of it. And I don't know how you go about getting back, because you look at the schedule. You say they have a soft schedule. I say that's potentially a 4-win schedule, bro.
But not if you're a championship team.
But they're not.
And I agree that it is probably one of the 5 most difficult schedules in the SEC. But look at you. I don't mean to be redundant. They don't have a game of consequence until October 11th. And then I agree, it gets more and more difficult every week. But isn't that how you want your schedule to set up? You want to be able to get your systems. You want to be able to get your guys acclimated. And then you get to the Red River rivalry on October 11th. Then it's at South Carolina. Then it is Ole Miss. Then it's at Tennessee, at Alabama, Mizzou, and LSU. You got to play the heavy hitters. Every week in that league, it's heavy hitters. Every single week. But let's not sit here and pretend that their schedule is Vanderbilt. Has anybody looked at Vandy's schedule?
Bro, Oklahoma's season over under across most places is only 6.5.
Yeah.
Like,
I
think there's some expectation.
Hey, if they win 6 games, Brent Venables should be fired.
Well,
done. Right? Look at Vandy's schedule. Charleston Southern, at Vodtech, at South Carolina, Georgia State, Utah State. And then you want to talk about a hammer? They go from Utah State to at Alabama, LSU, Missouri, at Texas, Auburn, Kentucky, at Tennessee. That's got to be the hardest schedule in the league. Right? But it's Vandy, so who's going to bat an eye if they win 6 games with that schedule? Nobody. Nobody's even going to notice. Right? But you look at who's another mid-table. Look at Auburn, because a lot of people think Hugh Freeze is going to get whacked if they don't run. At Baylor, Ball State, South Alabama. At Oklahoma, at Texas A&M, Georgia, Missouri, at Arkansas, Kentucky, at Vandy, Mercer, Alabama. Is that a 7-win schedule? Right? Like, that's what this league is. So if we're talking about guys on the hot seat, Billy Napier's not doing the job.
Right.
I'd have fired his ass last year. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Brent Venables isn't doing the job. You win 6 games, you're out. That's not who we are in Norman, right? At Oklahoma is winning 6 games that of consequence. And hell, what if you lose a Texas game and you win 6 games? That doesn't feel like a win. You lose a Texas game, you might as well just, pack it in, because it almost doesn't matter what you do the rest of the year.
Totally agree.
So I don't know. I think we have to get to a point where the expectation is we're playing for the national championship of college football at Florida, at Oklahoma, at Texas, at Bama, at Notre Dame, at Ohio State, at USC. Like these muddling programs. How does Ohio State do what they did? And USC can't even compete? It's over if Lincoln doesn't win 10 games this year. I think it's over for them. And that brings me back to my point about guys like Scott Satterfield. Listen, I love Scott. I think he is one of the best dudes in college football. You're done after this year. I don't know that there's anything he could do outside of win the conference to keep his job.
Yeah, and the problem is I don't know who you'd go and get to replace him.
I don't know. I don't know either. And I look at Brent Brennan. Brent Brennan has done, I think, a terrible job. Now, you're replacing Jed Fish, who I think is one of the most successful builders in Tucson that we've seen in some time. And he's already got Washington going in a very positive direction, right? So I look at Brent Brennan, and that's the beginning. Because how tough is it going to be to have that conversation with Mike Gundy after the season?
Yeah.
I think that's going to be very difficult. I think it's going to be very difficult. OU, according to Big Pontiff, OU went to the SEC because Texas is codependent. Could be. I am really curious. And this might sound harsh. I don't know. Is Oklahoma State ever relevant again if if football never changes and it's the Big 12 and the SEC and OU and Oklahoma State are in different conferences and they're not playing each other. I think it's going to be very difficult for Oklahoma State to be relevant. Honest to goodness.
Well, I think, the thing that comes to mind is that, like whether looking at that graphic or just in the big picture, like you think about the good programs, they've all got dynamic head coaches.
Correct.
All the winning teams have real dynamic head coaches that are either young hotshot guys being real creative with what they're doing, or it's on the flip side where it's like, hey, you're a real veteran, you're really good with the media, you have a resume that brings in the best talent, like, and you're very respected. And I think, when I look around college football, it's these guys who are older and not charismatic and they're struggling. And I think that the mystique of Mike Gundy has worn off. I think that college football has changed so much that you look around college football, like Dabo needs to start winning again. Like, it's all fine and dandy.
No question.
The ACC, preseason media poll comes out and Clemson wins that thing by a mile with I think it was 135 votes they got or something like that. And everyone thinks they're just the best team in that conference. And that might be true. But the reality is, coming out of the ACC for Clemson, a good season is winning a national championship for that team coming out of that conference. Like, look at that conference. You really like that. That's not a good conference on the football field, bro. Like, stop talking to me about the length and girth of the ACC. It's not a good conference.
And listen, I understand, and I get that this is what we do. If North Carolina finishes top 10 in that conference with an entire new regime, you're in trouble. Because I look at...
It'd be 2 years in a row a bad team competing to win the conference.
You cannot have Pitt finish ninth in this league.
Because it's garbage.
You cannot.
And listen, with all due respect, I like the Pitt West Virginia thing. I think everybody does. But let's not sit here and look at this graphic and be like, yeah, well, man, if Va-Tech can have a resurgency, get the hell out of here.
But what excuses do you make? And again, I asked the same question about Joey, the mullet, Witt, all the down programs. How do you justify NC State? How do you justify Va-Tech being irrelevant? Virginia does not matter in football. Wake Forest, Cal, Stanford. How do you justify it? You have money, especially at Stanford. You have all the money in the world. How do you justify being this bad in football? How do you justify Virginia being 14th in the ACC? Because they're not trying to win a championship. And I look up and down this list and I say to myself, if Florida State's 7th, there's going to be huge changes in Tallahassee.
Yeah, I mean, shouldn't this graphic be like Clemson, Florida State 1 and 1A?
It should be Clemson, Florida State, and Miami, period. And I think after that, there is no doubt in my mind that Louisville, Pitt, what is the excuse for Pitt? I'm tired of hearing about Pitt being this cool story. If you finish outside of the top 10 in this league, I don't ever want to hear from another Pitt fan, because there's no excuse. This league is not good. SMU, how is SMU third? Granted, they have a really good quarterback. How are they third? How is SMU picked well ahead of Florida State and Pitt? It's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. And at some point, you've got to be better than this. You've got to be better than this. And frankly, I just don't know that teams and programs are willing to do what needs to be done to win at a high level, even in the ACC and the Big 12. Baylor's not willing to do what's got to be done. Oak State's not willing to do what's got to be done. Cincinnati, Houston cannot continue to toil. That is a massively important market for the Big 12. The city of Houston and Southeast Texas is really important for the Big 12. And right now it doesn't even exist. It does not even exist because Houston is a basketball town, period. Houston football doesn't even exist. And that's really a tough pill for this league to swallow. You cannot continue to toil. It really just chaps my loins when when we talk about
length and girth
and not being able to win games.
Yeah.
It really frustrates me. It's again why I get so fired up about Notre Dame not having a quarterback. You explain that to me. How are you a head football coach at a power program and you don't have a quarterback?
Okay. Power program's putting it lightly. Dude, that's one of the most iconic programs in college football, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's not just a power program. That's like, hey, Notre Dame football, iconic venue, national TV every week, like everything that you could want as a quarterback. And somehow, some way, you don't have a quarterback. I just don't understand it. I don't understand why it's so difficult. I don't understand. And this is kind of my point. Like you think about the best head coaches in college football, and this is something that your boy needs to figure out, because Notre Dame, in my opinion, if he had a quarterback last year, we're having a different conversation.
I would
Ohio
agree,
State, dude. We're
I would
having
agree.
a real different conversation. And I still think, Ohio State wins that national championship either way, but that game would have been a lot closer if you had the ability to put up, even 24, 27, if you could push the ball down the field.
And again, this year you have a healthy Jeremiah Love. You have a really good receiving core. Please. I could go on and on about it.
What good is it?
I could go on and on and on about it, and it probably just doesn't even matter.
And it's honestly why you lose some of those oddball games, right? You have the one-off game where you can't score and the other team just showed up ready to ball out, even though they're, a G5 nothing burger.
And I say this about the NFL all the time. You explain to me how the Chicago Bears have never had a 4,000-yard passer.
It's incredible.
You explain to me how the New York Giants are still trying to find a franchise-level quarterback. You explain to me how the New York Jets don't have a franchise quarterback. How do all these teams in the NFL, are we just in a generation where the quarterbacks are just not good? How is Anthony Richardson your starting quarterback in Indianapolis? And I've been telling you, and Colts fans have been in here trying to slap me in the nuts over it. I've told you for 2 years that guy's not a starting quarterback in the NFL. And I don't think he'll ever be. What did the GM say today? Yeah, he wasn't ready. We threw him into the fire too soon. You don't say. So your answer was to go and get the guy who flamed out in New York and Daniel Jones? That was your yet the Buffalo Bills have Josh Allen, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yep.
Right? Like and I'm being serious. If Josh Allen was a Baltimore Raven, how many Super Bowls do they have? Not would they have won a Super Bowl. How many Super Bowls would the Ravens have if they had Josh Allen instead of Lamar?
A lot.
Oh, my God. Are you out of your mind? But yet, here we go. Notre Dame doesn't have a quarterback. All these NFL teams don't have a quarterback. Like, you can't tell me that these guys aren't just really very bad at what they do, because they are. They are. Marcus Freeman didn't recruit a quarterback. You're at Notre Dame. Yet Ohio State goes and get Will Howard, and what does Will Howard do? He goes and wins a national championship, and arguably, almost inarguably, in the most difficult path we've ever seen.
Ohio State.
It blows my mind.
Yeah.
And you have the University of Texas, who's got Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning. How did they have two all-world quarterbacks and Notre Dame's got none? And Alabama's got Jalen Milroe. You couldn't lob a phone call to Arch Manning? You don't think Arch Manning would have wanted to go to Tuscaloosa? Apparently not. I think he committed the minute he got shot into his mom. I think he committed to Texas.
I'm sorry. The minute he got shot into his mom.
Those are your words, not mine.
Length and girth.
Right? I just think it's one of those things that it is what it is. Yeah, Soldier Field. 2 words, Soldier. You're building a football stadium on a pile of horse crap.
How?
Literally on a pile of horse crap.
Fuck you. Fuck
Right?
you. You
Like, who
sucked.
does that? Who does that?
Yeah. Shouty.
Like, literally, who does that?
King of Thailand, G-Men just incompetent. Front office loves the owners.
Damn.
Like, go get Kerry Collins out of retirement. Come on, man. That awkward guy, Richardson, is a starting running back. Yeah, but he's not a starting quarterback, right? Crazy. Chewy Gonzalez, Monty, don't say Josh Allen or you'll summon Big Daddy Magic.
Yeah, please.
No,
Don't.
Big Daddy Magic is never here when I say nice things about Josh Allen or the other tall, freaky dude.
Victor's the way.
Stop. Now that will summon the masses. It's fine. Texas, Shouty says Texas don't need Oklahoma. Bring to the SEC. Well, apparently they did. Apparently. Big Daddy Dallas. I miss Will Howard. Why? You have a really good quarterback. I wouldn't be worried about that.
Oh, Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Yeah.
Ohio State.
Come on, man. Travis says Mahomes is Josh Allen's daddy. I don't actually think that's biometrically or biologics. I don't think the biologics add up there.
Yeah.
The age, the calendar.
Yeah, it doesn't really,
Biologics.
I don't know how that works.
I think that's possible.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Biologics.
Yeah, exactly. Biologics.
Biologics.
Tell me that she's not going,
Biologics.
That's
You got to get stroked.
Yeah, that's what she's doing at the end of it.
Biologics.
Yeah. What was
Biologics.
it? A Philly fan at Yankee Stadium or whatever that was the other day? There she is.
Yeah.
Greg Hill, Monty is going for the Notre Dame jugular. I'm so tired, bro.
I have to, for once, agree with you with your negativity. It does get old talking about why Buddy can't get a quarterback.
What my sports life sucks. Right? Like, honest to God. The Cubs won today. Thanks for showing up. We have the best defensive outfielder in Major League Baseball, Pete Crow Armstrong. Did you guys watch that abomination, that disaster he put on in center field last night? Not only did he dive and miss a ball that went to the wall, then he got too close to the wall and missed another one. And then, hey, bro, yeah, got it. Oh, I don't have it. I dropped a can of corn.
Hey, look here, man.
Cubs haven't made a trade yet. Every other fucking team in Major League Baseball has made a trade. Have the Cubs made a trade yet? No, they haven't.
That's what
Not one. Like 3 of the relievers we could have had.
2 or 10, 0.
0. The relievers we could have had, gone. Now, I agree. The price tags for these guys are ridiculous.
Cashless.
But I'm telling you right now, if Eugenio Suarez doesn't wind up wearing a Chicago Cub uniform, I'm kicking Jed Hoyer in the dick. Like, I have had enough. I have had.
And girth.
The Bulls, what else am I going to say? The Bears, stadium on a pile of horse crap. Garbage. Quite literally building on where the horses took a dump.
Yeah.
The Blackhawks, terrible. The Cubs,
not terrible, but not good enough.
And then Notre Dame doesn't have a quarterback. Okay. You figure it out. And I got Nail Painter, a quarterback for the Bears. Which is fine.
Oh, I thought you didn't have an issue with Nail Painter.
The motherfucker threw up 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns.
Nail Painter.
I'll paint your nails for you at that point.
How about Mr. Flower in his hair?
Right? Put your face in my mom's cleavage. I don't care. Throw for 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, and I'm here.
Nobody said boo.
Yeah, I got you, boo. But you throw for 20 touchdowns and 15 picks, I will be over with the nail polish remover.
Fuck you.
Right?
Fuck you.
Right?
You suck.
I'm going to be the best quarterback the Bears have ever had. At some point, maybe never. Anyway, that's my life as a sports fan. And we sit here and we talk about firing coaches. Marcus Freeman had 10 guys on the field against Ohio State 2 years ago at the stadium. Not once, but twice.
And as you can see, there's not much hope for you left.
At the goal line, when millimeters were going to win or lose that game, he had 10 guys on the field.
Ohio State.
Did he catch it the first time?
Dude.
No, it happens the first. How about that second time? Please. Whatever. Notre Dame is poor and can't afford a QB. That must be it. Yeah, one of the richest programs in all of college football. Yeah, they can't afford it. Sorry, my brother, but I have seen so many passes go errant due to a gust of wind off Lake Michigan.
Brother.
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 Listen, I understand it. The ghost of Walter Payton doing a blowjob at Soldier Field.
Sucking a ding dong.
You know, like the ball just, I don't know what happened, coach. You know, Wally Payton, like,
brother.
Jim McMahon won a Super Bowl with his arm out of socket. And
wait, out of socket or out of pocket?
And yes. And as a kid, Jim McMahon put a fork in his eye. And he still won a Super Bowl with a lacerated kidney. And you're painting your nails and burying your face in mom's cleavage. And you're talking to me about breaking Bears records. Great. 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns would be amazing.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Then can you please Saturday play for Notre Dame? We're like the number 7, and we'll call you Rick Smiley, the brand new quarterback out of the portal. Great. Sunday, head up to Chicago.
That's right.
Do the job, beat the Packers, and everything's fine.
Then paint your nails whatever color you want.
You know that's not going to happen. You know it's Monty. Cubs won't make a trade. Bulls ain't trying to win until Jerry's dead. Anyway, you know. Mikhail says, happy clowns, please. I ain't got no happy clowns. You know. Big Daddy Dallas, Monty needs to add explosion sounds to his driver videos. Hey, man. If all I had to do was play golf, fine. Went to see my doctor today. What did we talk about for the first hour I was in his office? Golf swing mechanics, because he watches my videos and he's like, dude, I'm topping the ball.
You really got to shallow out your shaft a little more, Monty.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Mike Smith. I lived through Neil Brown and Jared Jones. Quit squalling, Monty.
Dude.
I'm trying.
Smiles and glory holes.
Hey, New York, Tom Brady out of retirement. Don't even.
Why are we talking about Tom?
You know. The woof of the rectory. Big fat goose egg amount of Cubs trades. 0. Like nothing. Nada.
Because they're not trying to win a World Series.
Are the Mets making deals? Yes.
Bro, the Mets are so committed to making deals. We have videos of bullpen buddy crying in a Mets uniform when he was informed he was going to the Giants in the Tyler Rogers deal. Like, that's how committed people in New York are to that team being good.
Yeah.
Like,
Billy Donovan got a contract extension.
Neat. Another year of mediocrity. I mean, excuse me, my bad.
Do you understand?
Another 4 years of mediocrity.
We got rid of Lonzo. We got rid of everybody. We traded the whole roster. How many first-round picks did we get? 0. We have the same amount of first-round picks as Notre Dame's got starting quarterbacks.
Bro, you traded Headband for nothing.
Alex Caruso won a championship.
Jesus.
We got nothing. DeMar, Zach, Lonzo, nothing. We got nothing. Lonzo's finally healthy. The knee is finally capable of playing in the NBA. We got nothing.
Ain't no reset.
Nada. Zip.
It's
0.
embarrassing, dude.
Like it is so incredibly frustrating to me that we just can't ever on any of my teams get it right. So when we talk about people like Oak State sucking a ding dong, it's like, how difficult is it to fire your coach instead of cutting his pay?
Sucking a ding dong.
Right? Like it's so frustrating to me. It is, yeah. Big Daddy Dallas, Ryan Sandberg's passing has been a hell on the heart. He was the Cubs to me. Yeah,
Is
dude.
is that not the very indictment of this Cubs team?
Yeah, you killed him, but no, I'm not going to do it.
The passing of Ryan Sandberg is a bigger story, with all due respect to him, because he's a legend. But right in the heat of August baseball, right in the middle of the trade deadline saga, we're talking about that more often and longer than we're talking about this ball club and this front office not making any deals.
That's right.
It's incredible.
That's right. And it's remarkable to me that we can't.
And I'm here for put a statue out front, everything for Sandberg. I'm here for it. But
I just want one time in my sports fandom for my team to be the team that goes all in. Whether that's even like Chelsea Football Club. We can't figure it out with Nick Jackson.
But admittedly, the 2010s were very good in Chicago sports, right? The Hawks were good. The Cubs won the World Series once upon a time.
Well, the Hawks were good until that whole sex assault scandal happened. Brother. But other than that, did you guys hear, speaking of brother, did you guys hear Hulk Hogan's daughter, Brooke, took herself out of the will several years ago? She gets nothing.
Why?
because she wanted nothing to do with the people that were around Hulk Hogan. Allegedly, this is reporting from media sources. She took herself out of the will. The only thing she'll get is a partial payment out of a life insurance trust that Hulk Hogan set up. She doesn't get his house. She doesn't get his cars. She doesn't get his money. She doesn't get any of that. How crazy is that? So make sure your wills are in order.
Yeah, that's
the awkward guy. The only person I see Jerry Jones letting take over as GM of the Cowboys is Tony Romo. He's like the son he never had. Well, his sons are
Smiles and glory holes.
running the team. I hear Northwestern's QB left to focus on baseball. Maybe Notre Dame can get him. Stop.
Perhaps play a little game called Just a Tip.
Stop. Again, have you seen Volpe's number of errors this year? WTF, Monty? How is he in the lineup?
Because they don't have anybody else, bro.
Well,
do you think that there's a stat going around? I can't remember the guy's name. There was a one-handed baseball player, a one-arm baseball player in the big leagues in like the 30s or something like that, who made less errors at shortstop, I believe it was, than Volpe has made this year with
got
two
15.
hands. It's embarrassing.
He's
dude.
a 9.59
And listen,
fielding percentage as a shortstop.
Listen, I watched that ball game last night against the Rays, and that little throw at the end of the game that Paul Goldschmidt absolutely should have caught.
Yeah.
You need to make a better throw there, dude. That's a tailor-made out at first base, and you made an awful throw.
Yeah.
Like, be better, bro. And I'm a big proponent of it. The best teams in baseball are elite up the middle, and the Yankees are not.
But he's hitting 216. He's got 15 bombs and 57 RBIs on a team that doesn't require him to hit. That's why he's playing. And they've talked about like reacquiring Kiner Falefa now, but they went and got McMahon. At least they're trying. At least you're making moves and building a team and filling in some.
Yeah, there's something to talk about.
Like you let DJ LeMahieu go. I thought that was a really ballsy move. Now are they, because they're supposedly in the Eugenio Suarez race as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're one of the teams that are said to be chasing him. Are they that team? If they get Suarez, they're probably winning the American League.
Yeah.
Now I don't know that they have enough arms to go to the World Series at that point, but they'll probably win the American League. And once you get to the ALCS, it's all bets are off. But they're gonna outscore. They're gonna score 7 runs a game in the playoffs. If Suarez is playing third base in the Bronx, forget it, right? But you also, I would remind you, you also don't need him. What you need, in my opinion, it's the same thing with the Cubs. Do the Cubs really need Suarez? You need a bat at third base. Matt Shaw's a Gold Glove defender. They probably have enough offense. You need a trade that brings energy and enthusiasms to that lineup. That to me is particularly what you need to make sure that team keeps going and keeps ticking and keeps showing up in the clubhouse every day. But
what am I going to say though? I don't think they want that.
It's the Cubs, and they won't.
Yeah,
listen,
they won't.
They won't make a deal. I totally understand it. It's who we are. It's what we've been since the Ricketts took over. We haven't really been a playoff team since 2018, if we're being honest. Right? We had a playoff game in 2020 that was closed to the public because of the pandemic. We haven't been a playoff team since 2018. There's this belief that the Cubs are always in contention. They're not. They are not. We cub together. That's all well and good, except we cub together to watch the Major League Baseball playoffs. It's somebody else's yard because we're never in the Major League Baseball playoffs. And we haven't been relevant for about 10 years on the north side. Like, let's not kid ourselves. And I agree that Jed Hoyer, who's a San Diego guy, I think a lot of people thought Manny Machado was going to be available. They're buyers right now because of how well they've hit recently. So we're going to wind up with Mackenzie Gore and a bag of dicks, and that's going to be what the Cubs are.
Yep.
Okay.
I agree completely. I don't even think that's an exaggeration, honestly.
Not going to West Virginia this year. Next year when I go to Michigan at Penn State.
Why are you going?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
What is your trip to anywhere have to do with anything?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Tigers have top 2 overall prospects in baseball. They literally could get any player, even Skeens. The price of it's too much to give up.
It's not worth it, dude.
And you're not a World Series team this year. You're a year away from that. You can't go and give up the whole thing. Don't go to Pedo State, James. Well, he's researching pedo priests, so how could he not? How could he not?
Yeah, I mean,
right?
isn't that the homeland of pedos?
I believe that it is.
Just saying.
I believe that it is. All right, hour number 2 of the Monty Show, as always, presented by our friends at The Advocates. TheAdvocates.com. You guys, this story on Tony Petitti, we got to have a real conversation about Tony Petitti. Is Tony Petitti failing the Big Ten? Let's talk about it after this from The Advocates.
You're not just a case. You're not just a client. You're a person, and you deserve support. You deserve simplicity. You deserve communication. When you hire an attorney, you deserve clear, risk-free advice that guides you to the best possible outcome in your injury case. And that's exactly what the Advocates have been providing for over 30 years. After your accident, you deserve closure. You deserve compassion. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve an advocate.
Indeed, you do. The Advocates at theadvocates.com. Always ready to fight for you. You guys, there's not a case that they haven't seen. There's not a fight that they haven't fought. And I say this a lot, and I know you're probably tired of hearing about it. Please don't trust your insurance companies, right? When your daughter gets attacked by the neighbor's dog, like we talked about a few weeks ago, when you're in an accident in your car, especially with a big rig, your insurance company is not going to fight for you. They're going to fight against you to make sure they pay out as little as possible. That's why you go to the Advocates. Let the Advocates do the fighting. Let them handle the claims process that they've handled thousands and thousands and thousands of times. They know how to fight. They know how to win. You get back to the best version of yourself. You get clear, risk-free advice. And the best part is you never reach into your pocket because you don't pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case at theadvocates.com. All right. Let's get into Tony Petitti in the Big Ten. I think this is a very interesting story to me. There is this belief, and we've talked about it for some time on this show, that Tony Petitti and Greg Sankey were trying to form this new entity. We broke the story, and then everybody ran with it. I think that's all on hold because Tony Petitti and Greg Sankey cannot get on the same page, according to our sources. They can't get on the same page about a 5'11", and whether or not going to 16 from 12 is the right thing for their best interest. Because very clearly, and I think Greg Sankey has made this point time and time again, there has to be change. And the bite that I always go back to is when Greg Sankey was talking about how change is difficult, change is not easy, but sometimes you need to make change no matter how difficult it is.
The process of change is really exciting at the start. It's like running a marathon, which I've done a few times. Every time I've ever run a marathon, you can't sleep the night before. You're up early. You're at the start line. The start of anything is really exciting. And you go through that, and then you get to the end, and you see, running down Boylston in the Boston Marathon, or in Central Park in New York City, or crossing the river in Missoula, Montana to finish there. I mean, it's exciting, right? There's a finish line. The start and the finish is always invigorating, exciting, but the middle is messy, whether it's a marathon, whether it's decision making, whether it's change, and we are in the middle, and it's messy. That's not unique to college sports. That's not unique to higher education. That's not unique to American society.
No, it's not. And it shouldn't be unique to Tony Petitti, but the problem is, I think it's very unique to Tony Petitti. Tony Petitti's not in a position where he wants to fight to keep things going in the right direction. He wants to fight to keep things just the way they are. Because I think Tony Petitti knows what I've been telling you for months on this show. If the college football playoff goes to a 5-11, that's a massive advantage to the SEC. And anything that is significantly better for the SEC, in my opinion, is inherently worse for the Big Ten. Because we can sit here and we can go back and forth about who's the deeper conference. There's nothing to argue about. The fact of the matter is, and what the statistics bear out, is that the SEC would put more teams into the college football playoff with a 5-11 system that required 9 conference games and was reliant on strength of schedule. You take the humans out, you plug in strength of schedule, the SEC plays 9 conference games, all of a sudden you're in real trouble if you're the Big Ten. And Jake, my point is, if that is in fact true, Tony Petitti's in a world of hurt, and he is hurting the Big Ten.
Yeah, and I think the problem is that Greg Sankey is such a strong personality in the college football world that you know the concept of like strength and power versus hurting your conference is on full display, because honestly, like, these two guys are the most powerful guys in college football together, and they're, you know, at odds over what the format should be. And I think Greg Sankey has been very transparent, very much like, yeah, we don't really care what format you guys want to run, because we know that we're going to have 4 in either way, right? Like, we know that based on our strength of schedule and strength of record, that we're going to have, you know, 4 in some years 5 in the college football playoff in a 16-team format. So I think that the issue still remains that the SEC has a confidence about their conference overall, where they don't really care which way you want to go here. And the problem is that everybody else in the room is not interested in the 4-4-2-2-1 model the way the Big Ten is, because they don't want to be seen to be half as valuable as the Big Ten and the SEC. And so the Big Ten finds itself in a position where this whole conversation of, well, hey, you guys play a softer schedule because you guys can't get on the same page every year with how you're going to schedule your conference so you can have 5 in. And you typically just have Ohio State and Penn State. And, you know, recently Michigan, although drama-filled and asterisk, have had some success. But the conference overall is not as deep as the SEC, which is why I say at the beginning of the show, what did we talk about? Is Lincoln Riley actually going to be good this year at USC? Because the Big Ten desperately needs him to be. The Big Ten desperately needs Dan Lanning to have, ideally, in my opinion, like an 11-2 year.
Yes.
You know, like 10-3 would be kind of mediocre for Oregon. 11-2, 12-1 would be ideal, because that way you're in the college football playoff. You're getting a better matchup than Ohio State. Like, at least then it's not Big Ten on Big Ten crime. But I just think this concept of Tony Petitti is not the dominant, just overwhelming voice the way Greg Sankey is. And that much, I think, is now being put in the spotlight, which is hard for Tony.
Yeah, and I think it's tough when you are pushed and you don't have answers to the questions you're being pushed on, because there is no good reason for college football to stay in a 5-7. That does not benefit anybody. It does not grow the Big Ten. It does not grow the game of college football. And I think Tony Petitti probably knows that. The issue for Tony Petitti is he also knows that he doesn't have 4, 5, 6 ball clubs that he can push forward in a 5-11 format. That does not exist. And I think when you are the Big Ten, you have to find a way to stay equal with the SEC, or you're either equal and growing or you're falling behind. And right now, I don't think there's any question with the damage that the scumbags in Ann Arbor did to the Big Ten. I don't think there is any question that the Big Ten is falling behind the SEC.
Well, and I think to that point, like, the Big Ten has a reputation for always having something going on, right?
Yes.
There is always some type of drama or issue in the news inside of that conference. And while I agree that, first team all SRT in Athens constantly has problems, the SEC seemingly stays away from the news for the most part. You don't really hear them in the news for pedophilia or locker room dry humping by Micah Parsons.
No, you hear about length and girth, though.
Yeah, you've got your head coaches talking about length and girth and that whole thing, but we don't really have drama in the SEC the way we do the Big Ten. So
what do we talk about in the SEC? We talk about dynasties. We talk about how the same 6 teams. You can't even get close to that in the Big Ten. Right? If you look at the Georgia dynasty, the Bama dynasty, you look at what LSU did and is going to do, and then you look at the Big Ten, it's Ohio State and everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan is irrelevant. I think everybody knows their championship was complete bullshit. Like, there's nothing that the Big Ten has got to find that USC. The Big Ten has got to find Oregon.
Washington.
Not flaming out. This is a really important year for Jed Fish in Washington, because if they're good, if they're championship material, the Big Ten is in a far better place, because I think we all know Ohio State is going to be there. There's no question they've reloaded. My biggest question is, who's that second team in the Big Ten? That's going to be the question for a significant amount of time. And when I look at Cock on Thigh and Happy Ending Valley, I mean, it's James Franklin. It's James Franklin. Let's be honest. You're likely not to win, right? He is not a guy that is a maker of men or a leader of men. We saw just how putrid he is as a coach against Notre Dame.
Well, when you say not win, you mean national championships?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to go and beat G5 teams in the college football playoff. I mean, you're good with that. What happened against Ohio State? Oh, that's right. Drew Aller sucks. What happened against Notre Dame? Oh, that's right. Drew Aller sucks. What happened against the G5? Oh, well, Drew Aller's an amazing quarterback, and he's the best in the Big Ten, and he's the best in the country, and our running backs are coming back, and we have receivers, and James Franklin, who's still making it possible for sexual assault to happen in his programs.
Yeah.
Like he did at Vandy, like we've heard him accused of at Penn State. But that's who Penn State is, right? Could Penn State be the most talented team in the league and win the Big Ten this year? Yeah, absolutely. Will they? Probably not, because James Franklin's your head coach and Drew Aller's your quarterback. It's as simple as that. You're not as talented, in my opinion, until James Franklin is not the head coach at Penn State and you have somebody in there who can truly develop elite players on both sides of the football. You're never going to be Ohio State.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I don't know that the Big Ten needs them to be. I think that what the Big Ten needs Penn State to do is stay out of the news and keep getting in the CFP. Even if you don't win a national championship, just be in the CFP, because then you're getting an extra share.
And listen, that's what he did.
Yeah.
That's what James Franklin did. But does anybody really put a lot of credence into, we beat SMU and we beat Boise?
Dude, the indictment is that you beat two bad teams and you couldn't get the job done.
And then you got beat really bad against Notre Dame because Drew Aller can't throw the ball in leverage situations.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing that we've talked about time and again. You see it repeated across college football in big games. Can the quarterback make big throws? And I know you're probably tired of hearing me say this. Can the quarterback stand in the pocket and deliver the football in the biggest moments? That's not who Drew Aller is.
Right.
You got beat by Riley Leonard. How? I don't know, because he's a mediocre quarterback. You were not nearly as good as Will Howard at Ohio State. Ohio State was a significantly better team than Penn State last year. And a lot of it is that James Franklin doesn't know how to make guys be accountable. He doesn't know how to develop talent. I can say the same thing about the scumbags in Ann Arbor. He has no idea what he's doing developing talent. None whatsoever. That's just not, like, you look at their situation last year, they should have been markedly better than they were. But that's not who Sharon is. He's not a maker of men. He has to cheat to win. So until that whole situation is cleared out and scumbag Ward Manuel is not your AD anymore, you're probably going to toil. And that doesn't even bring into effect what would happen with the NCAA, who, again, I'm tired of hearing that they're going to release their news. And what's the excuse? We're in fall camp now. Right? Like, it's amazing to me.
I agree.
So I think the Big Ten has a real problem with mediocrity. I think it's Ohio State and Oregon and then everybody else. Penn State, you might as well be Rutgers or Minnesota until you start winning. And I think truly you have to win a national championship to have any kind of respect. And I'm still going to say, Joe Paterno and Jerry Sandusky, you are who you are. Penn State should never play football again. Shouldn't have a football program, but they do. And so to break the mold of Sandusky and Paterno, you hired a guy who had a significant sex assault scandal at Vanderbilt. And now we hear about Cock on Thigh in the Penn State locker room again under James Franklin. Is what it is.
Yeah.
You are who you are.
Yep.
So I think as far as the Big Ten is concerned, see, I really enjoy ripping Penn State.
Yeah, because they do it to themselves.
Yeah.
And
Scumbags.
The reality is you've got one of the best stadiums in college football, and it just goes to waste every single year.
Yeah, and you're rebuilding it. It should be a great story.
Yeah.
Right? But Epstein U, it's not going to be a great story at Epstein U. Like, it just isn't. So, I mean, it just, I think it is what it is. And I have no issue truth telling about Penn State.
Yeah, no sympathy.
Brings me great happiness.
Right.
Let's see. Woof, says Venom. Okay. Mike Smith, F pedo state and look away, Joe. Exactly. Exactly right. Right. Toot Pants, I Google search length and girth, and now I need to call the advocates. Exactly
Length
right.
and girth.
That's right. Tony Petiti can't do anything but hurt his own conference. You have to, in my opinion, if you are Tony Petiti, you have to build revenue into this conference. And the only way to do that is to get Oregon this year. My opinion is he needs Oregon and USC to be really good football teams.
Okay, quick sidebar. What is this Penn State Homer account here?
I don't know. He
got
he got filtered, so I can't read his comments because I don't know what you said. But I'd like to thank the YouTube algorithm for filtering Epstein U. Yeah, that's it. It brings me great joy that we don't have to read Epstein U comments.
Okay.
So, Petiti and Sankey equal Team Spanky. Exactly. Jeremiah Champion. Hello. Good to see you. Petiti, we got the cash. Sankey, we got the performance. Your mark. Guys. Can we play too?
Yeah, we have great leadership from Baylor and the Wolf and Mac Rhodes. Come on.
I am a big believer that Brett Yormark runs circles around Tony Petiti. I think with the money he's making this conference, with the places that he's put this conference, the stability and revenue opportunities that Brett Yormark has brought to the Big 12, I think he's running circles around Tony Petiti.
Yeah, the problem is he's having to do with one hand behind their back because he doesn't win.
Yeah.
Well, his teams don't win.
Mike Smith, close up on Jake for the lonely ladies. There it is.
Stay hard.
Yeah,
it is. There you go.
Okay.
Petiti is doing fine. He kills his opponents quietly.
Okay.
Who has he killed so far?
Yeah, who has he killed, dude?
Can't think of one. Funny. Toot Pants. People will tell you who they are based on what rules they are pushing for. The Big Ten wants 4 guaranteed spots. That just told you that they think that that's more than they can get in an at-large format. There's no question.
Yeah.
There is no question. Bailey Dietrich. Tony Petiti has a lot on his plate. Apparently he does. Oh, look, here's Penn State Sports Talk. Stop bringing up the past. You guys molested a bunch of kids, covered it up, and then took wins away and gave it back to them.
What do you mean
And
stop bringing it up?
We're going to stop bringing up the past at Epstein University?
Come on, dude.
No, we're not going to do that. But thanks for being here. Buck McGraw, Georgia didn't have a dynasty. Oh, sure they did. Absolutely. I think there is no doubt for how many seasons were they the most talented and best football team? And you look at the way, I don't even know that I need to justify
You don't.
that.
You don't.
I think it is what Kirby Smart has built at Georgia is nothing short of spectacular. And he has major things that he needs to accomplish, but to go to back-to-back national championship games, to go to the national championship 3 times in 5 years, if that's not a dynasty, I don't know what is. And you look at 21 and 22, when you go 15-0, you're telling me that's not a dynasty? When you go essentially 29-1 in 2 seasons, and that's not okay.
Come on, bro.
What are you talking about? Big does have the claim of the pervert conference over the years.
That's what I mean. I'll never understand Penn State folks being like, don't bring up the past. Dude, it's what defines you.
Yeah. It's exactly what defines you. We took down Boise State and SMU, and you're proud of that? And then you lost to a mediocre Notre Dame offense? And you're proud of that.
Embarrassing take. Dude.
That is horrendous.
I'm not even trying to be an asshole. That's an embarrassing take.
Yeah, exactly. The Wolf makes a good point. Don't bring up the past.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Wolf of Wall Street.
It is amazing to me that Penn State fans, why don't you guys go hang out with Texas State fan? Like, what are you talking about? There is zero excuse for Penn State not to be an elite program. It's Epstein State, please. James Franklin better thank his lucky stars that the AD has low expectations, apparently. Like, what are we even talking about? Wait a second. That's what Penn State did? What the heck? Ew. How are they not being publicly shamed?
You really don't know what Penn State did, dude?
I'm hoping that's sarcasm. Pedo State, if someone brags about their past that was good, they should also be embarrassed about their past that was bad. I don't know how you can say stop bringing up the past with the heinous crimes that you committed and did nothing about it. You did nothing about it. Like, Penn State is disgusting. That is, Epstein, you should not have a football program.
Yeah.
Should not have a. Gabriel said, I legit didn't know. Go look up Sandusky,
Dude,
Penn State.
Get on Google, dude.
It is. I mean, come on. Like, that's crazy to me. It is.
I'm not even being mean, bro. That's wild. You don't know about that.
I mean,
Like,
on a show where we talk a lot of college football, I don't know how you've missed that.
Google me.
Because I think Epstein U is arguably the biggest scandal in the history of college sports.
Yeah.
What they did in Happy Ending Valley, and just what a piece of garbage Joe Paterno is, and what you did to cover up what Epstein you did to the kids in those camps. I mean, it's disgusting to me that you would even consider being a fan of that program. That is
not that you are, but just generally.
My hope is that Penn State never wins another game. And I'm a kid that grew up in Chicago watching Big Ten football. Jeff George at Illinois, and I actually loved Penn State, was a big fan of Penn State. That all ended the day that Epstein U defended Jerry Sandusky. And we know the facts of what Joe Paterno did. What a scumbag.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he makes Jim and John Harbaugh look like saints, like good human beings. Joe Paterno is a piece of trash. He is the absolute worst of the worst. And Epstein U is exactly what they should be known as. Georgia has a legit dynasty. As a TCU fan, I know we're still looking for our butts after the 2022 championship game. Absolutely a dynasty. That's not even a question. This is a college sports show. Yeah, it is. It is.
Why
well, no, don't forget we're an SEC show. I have no idea what you're referring to, but it's fine. How can you not know about Epstein U and the Nittany pedos? I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
I don't know. Yes, please hit the like button. Give us a thumbs up. Shout out to everybody watching on Twitter.
Bro, Twitter.
I don't know how to
another
explain
planet.
what's going on with X right now. We have 76,000 people watching on X right now. If you're on X, please give us a retweet. I appreciate everybody commenting on the show. I appreciate everybody hitting the like button on X. Please do. Consider subbing to us on YouTube. The link is in my bio. We appreciate everybody who watches the show every day.
Yes, thank you.
We'll be more appreciative after the Cubs make a trade.
That's never going to happen.
So we'll probably never be appreciative.
Yeah.
It's fine. I take it that Gabriel is a younger individual. Must be. And Gabriel, it's no shine to you, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
It's not hating on you. I just think that's one of those things where, that scandal was on a level to where I would expect anybody who watches college football regularly to just have some idea of what happened. I mean, I don't expect you to know, just like I don't know the inner workings of the 80s. I don't expect you to have the inner workings on lock from something that happened, so long ago.
Yeah.
But,
and the crazy thing is that I was on the radio in Seattle when the Sandusky verdict came down. And I will never forget how many people had vitriol for Penn State and that they essentially went without punishment. I mean, it's really unfortunate. Stephen Keel. Hello, Stephen. Good to see you. Don't care what they call us, but at the end, they will call us PSU National Championships. We are child molesters. Yes, you are. That's right.
Nice job, dude. At least you're accountable. you know?
At least you're accountable.
Yeah.
I love that Epstein U fans leave it open as we are. ... Child molesters. You are. That's right. Child sexual assaulters. You are. That's right. Scumbags. You are. That's right. So thank you for always leaving that. Thanks for always leaving that open.
Yeah.
Penn State says, let's keep it on the field. Let's not. You guys are a bunch of scumbag losers who should not have a football program.
And look at the dig here. See, this is what I love. This is funny to me.
Utah wishes they could be us. What does Utah got to do with anything?
Yeah, you're
to...
only saying that because I'm guessing you perceive us as Utah fans, which we're not.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
I love it. That's all you have. That's all you have, which is you have nothing. What did the Joker say? There's nothing you can do to me.
You have no power over me.
Because you guys are a bunch of facilitators of child sexual assault at Penn State.
And you can't get away from it. And anything you do is a waste of breath.
And your football coach is a multi-time sexual assault accused of facilitating sexual assault. Multiple times. At Penn State and at Vanderbilt. And you want to keep it on the field. No. Joe Paterno is one of the most disgusting human beings that's ever coached a football team. Because if he'd have had the balls to stand up and fight for those kids, we wouldn't be having this discussion.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't, because he's a coward and he's a loser. That's why. You should never, ever play another football game. So never mind. Fanboy Prime said, okay. Penn State sports talk should go make out with Ferris Khan. You really should. Wolf says, Epstein U fan desperately trying to change the attention of the show to the holy war. Like, I love when people come in and are like, oh, Utah and BYU, that's all you got. It's like, I'm not a Utah or a BYU fan. So yeah, run that out, man. I'm happy to do it. Right. Tiger Jeb. What's up, Jeb? Chew on Baylor's leg when you're done with Penn State. Oh my God. Seriously.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Comparing what the entire organization of Penn State did to the allegations against Retzloff. Yeah, like that's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. One of the stupidest things. So wait, if Penn State had taken the action that BYU took against Retzloff, which was to immediately remove him from football, because note, what did I tell you the day the allegations came out? We'll never see Jake Retzloff at BYU again. Have we seen him at BYU since then? No, we haven't, because they removed him. What if when the original allegations at Penn State were made against those two POSs, Epstein and Paterno, what if those two had been immediately removed from their position of authority and put in jail for what they did? Would we be having this discussion? We wouldn't. But you guys are cowards. You put football over the well-being of children. Yeah,
Seems legit.
Jeremiah Champion, Penn State, please stop talking and just go to word timeout. Yeah, you don't belong here, dude. Penn State sports talk, you don't belong here. You really don't. You really don't. Fanboy Prime just got here. Any colonoscopy talk today? Boy,
yes,
that's probably something. That's probably something you don't want to, That's probably something you don't want to talk about. Yeah, I'll have an update on my physical today. It's an interesting discussion, believe it or not. David Persons, I was writing for Bleacher Report when all that happened at Penn State, and it was a true shite show. Penn State should be relegated to Division III or somewhere. Yeah, seriously. Wasikowski, now James is a Syracuse fan? No, stop. Is he a Syracuse fan?
You can't be serious, dude.
I grew up a Syracuse fan.
No, you did not, dude. No.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
No, you did not, and I'm not permitting this, dude.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
No, you didn't.
I don't even know what
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Like, what do we say to that?
Like, how am I supposed so let me get this right, dude. So now you're a Syracuse fan, an Oak State fan, a TCU fan, and a Baylor fan. And I haven't even gotten to the NFL. How does that work, bro? Like, how?
Sometimes you try, and then there are some times where you don't try, and James is pretty much on the don't try. Like, I've lost count of how many teams you're a fan of. the Preston Stones of the world.
Stay hard.
20. How many times a month, let alone a day, are you thinking about Preston Stone's boomerang?
Yeah.
Like now now Donovan McNabb is your favorite player ever. Like, are you out of your mind? Has got to be a troll account. Yes, we read that one. Go log back into your Texas State Fanatics account.
Damn.
Exactly right. Johnny Gonzalez, Monty, let's settle this Sandusky case on the field because you have nothing to threaten me with. Exactly right. Yeah, I don't know, Eric. I can't. I
For
can't
once
even.
We actually agree with you on something.
I can't make that work.
I don't know how. So wait, did you grow up in the Northeast then? Like what?
No, don't engage. Why don't you guys talk about it tonight when you're saying on FaceTime when you're saying goodnight?
No.
You and James talk about it then, like.
No.
I just am not, Yeah. Okay. Woof. The most important news of the day, Oak State James is also a Syracuse.
Like, what are we doing, bro?
Okay, that's enough. Stop, please.
Oh, colonoscopy talk. Does length and girth count?
Yeah, it does actually, dude.
Length and girth.
Damian Fowler. Damian, what's up? Good to see you, bud. Hey, Monty, busy today. Just wanted to check in and see how your colonoscopy went and make sure everything's okay with my guy. I did not have a colonoscopy. I had my annual physical today. I get a physical the first week of August every single year. And everybody always like, hey, fat ass, you're going to die. Well, sorry to disappoint you, haters.
No.
Yeah, your boy ain't going anywhere anytime soon. My cholesterol numbers are great. My heart numbers are great.
F around and find out.
All of my labs came back perfect. Triglycerides. The only number I'm waiting for, and I guess it takes longer. Tastes longer. I guess it takes longer is my A1C, but
I've never taken steroids.
yeah, I don't have any. I don't eat a lot of sugar, so my A1C is going to be fine.
Lidocaine and B12.
Yeah, I had a really good visit with my doctor, and we'll talk about that an hour from now. I'll tell you guys all the details about tirzepatides and weight loss and what we're doing, and James adds another team to his fandom. How many does that make now?
It's
Seriously.
like 71, dude.
Lamont Tucker, is there any truth to West Virginia to the ACC? I think West Virginia would love that move. There's been some talk recently about the Big 12 and the ACC swapping teams. And I don't think there's any question that if you're the Big 12 and you can swap West Virginia for Louisville, that makes sense for everybody because West Virginia Pitt as a conference game is what dreams are made of, right? Like, and I think I don't know that I would say that's absolutely true, but we'll see. Chewy Gonzalez for $2. Hugh just doesn't want chodes, Monty. You got
length and girth.
Listen, oh my God, damn it!
Hold on.
The Philadelphia Phillies are God. The Philadelphia Phillies are finalizing a deal to acquire closer Johan Duran from the Minnesota Twins for 2 top prospects. He is absolutely the best available closer, and the Cubs still haven't made a trade. They still have not made a trade. Deadline is tomorrow.
Lower your expectations, brother.
But as far as Hugh Freeze,
I mean, honestly,
has
to be intentional, dude. It has to be.
As far as Hugh Freeze and his chode,
I don't really get hung up on the running back's weight, but it is good that you have some that have some girth to them. But there's no doubt you need length and girth in this league up front, and I think at linebacker too, and it helps if you have it in the secondary. I tell guys all the time when they're recruiting these guys from an offensive perspective, when we're talking about open receivers, length matters. Both sides, you can have a shorter receiver that's actually winning a route by 2 yards, but the length of that DB gives it, and according to that receiver, it gives you no window. The quarterback doesn't really feel like that's a window. Whereas if the receiver is here and the DB's there, I see that window. And so length matters there, and it certainly matters up front.
Jake just said to me while that video was playing, man, look at his hand technique, bro.
Length and girth.
Length and girth
Who's
with
got
those
better
hands.
hand technique? You know, Wolf or Mr. Length and Girth guy?
Look at those sausage fingers
Yeah,
on you.
you know, like, wow.
He knew what he was saying. Come on. He knew what he was saying. Oh, God. Here's Oak State.
Okay,
James for
here's the
$5.
defense of the Syracuse, I'm sure.
I grew up in upstate New York, played high school playoffs in the Carrier Dome, joined the Army in 91 and never moved back. I love Texas, never moving.
Okay.
What does that have to do with you being a Syracuse fan? And a TCU fan and a Baylor fan. And
an Oak State fan.
And an Oak State fan.
And an SMU fan.
And an SMU fan. And now all of a sudden you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Like,
how?
It's not possible. You're a bandwagon fan. You know, Syracuse had a good year last year. I get it. The awkward guy, Jesus James, really been around the block. Hey, man, I don't mind a guy that's traveled.
Know your role and shut your mouth.
Chris Faithful, is he an Army fan too? You're damn straight he is. You know it and I know it. Jeremiah Champion, this is why people say football is homoerotic. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, can you explain that to us?
Bunch of dudes putting their hands in other dudes' crotches. He puts his crotch in your hands.
Yeah, watch out for dudes named Christian.
Danny, have you ever put your hands in a man's crotch and had him put his hands in yours?
Brother.
That's a few good men.
Yeah.
You know, James is a fan of the University of fill in the blank. Exactly.
That's
right.
what I'm saying, dude.
Chris Faithful, I once walked past a TV that was showing a Texas State game.
Yeah, right? Like, come on.
David Persons for $5. I grew up a TCU fan and still a Horned Frog and bleed dark purple, and I hate Pedo State. We can all just get along and all hate Pedo State. That's exactly right. Mike Smith, most Army vets are not big fans of Army football. That is actually true. I know a bunch of Army guys. So, and Oak State James probably is not an Army fan. Phil Venser, was he commenting on football or that thing that was tossed out at the WNBA game? Did you guys see that?
Girth.
Somebody threw an object of sexual pleasure on the floor at a WNBA game. And I'm like, come on, dude. Like, do you guys understand just how disgusting men are when it comes to women? And just, wow. I mean, Monty, she's here to cook me a steak and better not burn that steak. Right? Like, we are disgusting as men. When we do stuff like that, when we, you know, think of it, like everything about, oh, wow, man, she's hot. Well, yeah, but she's also human. Never mind. You know,
Yeah.
the awkward guy. James' sister's distant cousin's uncle's wife went there, and that's why he's a fan. I've heard that.
Brother.
Yeah, he's going to claim dude as his brother, and then he's going to say that he lived in his basement for like 10 minutes, and that's why he's a fan of the team.
Oak State James, I hate Penn State.
I'm sure you do, brother.
Brothers unite around Penn State sucks.
Brother.
Epstein, you. Jeremiah Champion Poncho, you clearly don't understand how James is a respected member.
What did Poncho say?
Dude, Ferris, what happened to the Ferris Con account? What happened to the Ferris Con account? I'd have to go back and, you know, I'd have to go back and find it. Only women, whoa, no, you know, Mike, probably not.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and skip that. Thanks,
All right, the Monty Show presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. Tomorrow is our last day to raise money. Tomorrow we'll do another fundraiser for the Advocates in the road home. Today and tomorrow are the last 2 days. So if you're one of our, and truly, you guys, I am amazed at how many people are watching this show on X. 77,263 of you are watching this show on X right now. That is wild to me. And I very much appreciate it. We are raising money for the road home and the Advocates so that they can provide the basic needs for kids returning to school. And as we said, as we've been talking about, this is of particular interest to me. And I think I said this yesterday, that I don't believe that any kid should have to be bullied at school. And I know that's not gravitational, and I know that's not, something outrageous to say. But I think we forget about it. We don't think about the struggles that a kid who doesn't have nice clothes, who lives in a car maybe, or lives in a shelter, who's being provided for by people like the road home. We don't think about their plight when it comes to, hey, when does that kid go back to school? And if you really think about what a homeless kid faces on a year-round clock, look at it as a year-round clock, right? In the summer, he probably doesn't know where his next meal is coming from. So, let alone where he's going to enjoy that meal, if it's a meal he enjoys, right? So we talk about all those things. And my ask of you is, as we close out July today and tomorrow, get on Venmo. And if it's in your wallet, it's in your heart, I ask you to make a $5 donation, a $10 donation. And tomorrow we'll do a big push, as we do on every Thursday show here. We raise money for the advocates in the road home, or this one is of particular importance. We're in a time in this country where homelessness is exploding, and youth homelessness and youth hunger is exploding. The road home is putting together backpacks with the funding that the advocates and you provide. So 100% of your donation to the advocates on Venmo goes to the road home. Those kids get a backpack, and they get things like pencils, papers, pens, basic school supplies. They get clothing. Think about, remember when you went back to school? And I can tell you that the thing that I'll never forget is when I went back to school. Now, I'm probably dating myself.
Mm-hmm.
In the 80s, and I want to say it was 1984, I got my first authentic Chicago Cubs jersey. I'll never forget it. The Cubs were really good. They were in the playoffs. It was Ryne Sandberg, Leon Durham, Keith Moreland, Jody Davis, Rick Sutcliffe, right? I'm in Northbrook, Illinois. And one of the things that I got, of the many things that I got to go back to school, is I got the blue Chicago Cub jersey. And I will never forget how cool it was, and all my friends and like talking about it like it was really cool. Imagine if you're not even trying to get a Chicago Cubs jersey. You're just trying to get a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, a jacket. You're just trying to have clothes that aren't torn. Maybe those clothes would, let's get crazy, actually be your size and fit you well. Right? Let that stuff sink in. Socks, underwear, clothing, school supplies. Then maybe you're not getting pushed around. Then maybe you're not getting bullied. Then maybe you can actually learn, and you can grow, and then you can have dreams and aspirations about what's in the future. Right? Like maybe that's what it is. So again, of the 76,000 people on the X platform, of the 1,000 people watching on Facebook, right? Of the 3,000 people watching on YouTube, let's do something about it. Let's do something about it. $5, $10, whatever you can. Drop it on Venmo to the advocates. Advocates donations, 100% of your donation goes directly from the advocates to the road home, so those kids get that backpack. And I know I probably go too far with it, and I'm just telling you that it is really tough when you are a kid who doesn't have his own backpack.
Yeah.
Right? And you're living in a shelter. Do you understand? The road home is providing for hundreds and hundreds of homeless kids. Remember when we were talking about the Murray Children's Pantry? We were raising money for the Murray Children's Pantry to provide meals through the summer, and their shelves were empty. I'm telling you, I know we're all the 1%ers in the world, right? 9 out of 10 of us aren't worried about where our next meal is coming from. But if you're a kid and you're out playing in your front yard, you're not thinking about dinner. But your parents are, because they don't have the money to provide dinner for you. And they probably don't have the money to provide breakfast for you. And they can't wait for you to go back to school, not because they don't want you around, but because they want you to eat well. I mean, it's crazy what we go through. So help the advocates push these kids over the goal line this school season. Hey, man, I'm so excited. Football's back.
Dude, I'm ready.
Fall camp is opening. You know, Notre Dame released a video hyping fall camp. I think Utah did as well today. Like,
lots of video coming out of Mr. Retzloff at Tulane. Looking good.
There is. It's going to be very interesting to see how all that plays out. But yeah, let's hit it right now on Venmo. Let's really make a push these next 2 days. I can't believe July's ending. These next 2 days. Tomorrow, we're going to do our normal full show. Everybody donate. But I'm happy to give away one Amazon gift card today, as we usually do. We usually give you, I mean, hell, the wind's blowing out of the west. Let's give away an Amazon gift card, I feel like is what we do on the show. But if you Venmo the Advocates donation, send a screenshot of it to Jake. We'll give away an Amazon gift card today. I have no problem doing that. You guys support this show like crazy. Jeremiah Champion, I spend probably about $1,000 of my own money feeding my students whenever we go to competitions. You just never know who actually gets to go home to a hot meal or not. And
it's facts.
And again, I know we're a sports talk show, but can you imagine? And maybe you can't, because I don't know the feeling, and I'm very thankful. And I think I've told this story. When I was in my early 20s, I was homeless for 2 nights. Like, there's just uncertainty about it. But I knew where I was going, right? Like, I knew I had a room that I was going to rent with a bunch of these guys that I had played baseball with, and I knew where I was going. Can you imagine living in your car and having no idea when you were going to be able to live in an actual place and have an actual bed to sleep in? Can you imagine being a husband and wife living in your car with 2, 3 kids? That's happening every day in our communities. Honest to goodness, every single day. And I know, again, because we don't see it a lot. It's not in our face. We pose homelessness as this huge, burden on our everyday lives. Well, think about the kids that are living in those situations. Your $10 donation on Venmo, I cannot tell you guys. And if you're new to the show, and I know we have a lot of new listeners to the show, if you're new to the show, I cannot tell you the emotion that goes into, and we've done it. We've delivered holiday food. We've bought Christmas for, our listeners. Like, the emotion that you see on a parent's face when you hand them Christmas gifts, Thanksgiving turkeys, school supplies for their children. You can't understand it until you see the devastation that turns from devastation to, oh my God, they have a box of toys. We're going to have a Christmas for Jimmy and Susie. The elation, I'm telling you. I could go on and on about it. I appreciate you guys, because we have raised thousands of dollars for this cause, and I want to really finish strong. Let's get to it. If you have it in your wallet and you have it in your heart, hook it up. The Advocates on Venmo, Advocates donations. If 100 of us right now gave $10, that $1,000 would be life altering in this fight to raise money for kids. It would be life altering. A lot of school discipline issues can be traced to hunger. Oh my God. Well, I think a lot of, and now we're probably way off the rails, but when you're hungry, you don't know where your next meal's coming from. That probably means you're not well manicured, right? Like, you probably aren't taking a shower every day. You're a young kid your hormones are probably raging, your pheromones, you're sweating a lot. You probably don't smell great because you're not probably wearing deodorant. You're probably not changing clothes. You're probably not changing underwear if you have underwear. Your shoes are not Jordans or whatever the hip shoe is these days. You're getting picked on. So you get picked on. And I think any of our teachers in the comment section, right? Any of our teachers in the comment section have experienced this. You look at some of these kids that get picked on, they get picked on over their hair, the way they look. You're battling acne because you don't have the ability to clean yourself properly. And at those ages, your skin is highly reactive to oil and dirt. So you're getting picked on as a kid with acne, and it causes problems. It's not your fault. It certainly is not your fault. And the last thing I'll say before we move on, we have the opportunity with $5 or $10 today. There's over 80,000 people watching the show right now. There is over 80,000 people watching the show. If just 100 of us gave $10, that's all I'm asking for. And if you want to do it anonymously, because a lot of you have said, I don't want to do it publicly. Don't mention it. Look, I'm happy. I appreciate you making the donation, man. And I can guarantee you the advocates really appreciate you making the donation, because that's what's great. And I'm not talking about, hey, you need an injury attorney. Okay, cool. That's part of what we do for the advocates. But the reason we're partnered with the advocates is because they are actually heartfelt. They are actually in the community. They care about their communities. They're on the street. They're in your shelters. And whether you're in San Diego, Las Vegas, Phoenix, obviously Utah, Montana, Idaho, like all the places the advocates are across this country, they're making a difference in your community, and you likely don't even know it. You likely don't even know it. And I don't think the advocates care for you to know it. But that's why we're here, because we want you to know they're working in your community. And it's just, it seems like so much. It feels like so much to me. Other kids can be brutal about picking on less fortunate kids. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. It's crazy. The wolf can't afford more, but the kids need it more than I do. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Did you?
Yes.
You did. Okay. Yeah, look at you guys coming through. Wait, let me get this comment off the screen. Monty Show sent me.
That's the wolf.
That's the wolf. The wolf of Wall Street. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. $25 just in case I'm busy tomorrow. Here you go. Some kids need small wins to keep the dream alive. Exactly right.
John Blackwelder.
Thank you, John. Really appreciate that. Team Dean, the Monty Show, kids back to school, length and girth. I forgot which one is Monty and which is Jake. Thank you.
Well,
length and girth.
Excellent. See, that's well done right there. See, that's actually a really good one.
That's amazing.
That's actually really well
you
done.
Guys, that's $60 right there.
Yeah.
That's $60 right there. And this is the stuff I talk about. Guys like Tom Dean. Tom doesn't comment a lot on this show, but he's always here and he's always supporting our stuff. And I appreciate all of you who regularly donate. And again, if you've got it in your wallet, I ask you $10. I would love it if we could get 1,000 people to donate $10. Case closed. Right? The 80,961 people watching the show. $10. That's all I'm asking you. I appreciate everybody who's making the effort. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's move on. We'll come back to that. And if you want to shout it out, let's see. One more. Jeremiah Champion. One of my students I called a challenge. I will never say I had have a problem student. His dad is a local drug dealer. Guess what his son wants to do to make money? Yeah. That's tough, dude.
What he knows.
Go to school to be a pharmacist. Exactly. Exactly right. Jeremiah, it's so difficult to motivate kids to be the best them that they can be. So many factors go into that. You have no idea what somebody's dealing with at home. You see it firsthand. I coach kids and help when I can with PE, seeing kids with ripped shoes and others make fun of them. It's ridiculous. It truly is. It truly is, dude. It really is. Johnny Gonzalez, shout out to Maury Alvarez for having his own awesome kids, but also how he gives to the advocates about every time Monty has a For Kids show. It's amazing what Maury does. Maury's such a good dude. And Maury's not, he's not amongst the wealthy elites of this country, but he works hard and he provides for his family. And when he has $1, he's happy to give it. And I think that's such a big deal. And I really appreciate that. So again, advocates donation on Venmo. Let me ask you about this comment right here. This story, and I don't know how many people saw this story. Bryce Harper of the Philadelphia Phillies. Rob Manfred meets with every team every year. And having been around that meeting, many, like probably 10 of those meetings, San Francisco, Chicago, St. Louis, like I've seen him. It usually doesn't go well. It's not a happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
And this was no different. Rob Manfred went into the Phillies locker room, clubhouse, and was hinting at adding a salary cap to the Major League Baseball contract when the negotiations happen at the end of next year. And Bryce Harper was not having it. Bryce Harper, the vocal leader of the Phillies, a vet, a guy that everybody respects, literally got in the commissioner's face, Rob Manfred, the Major League Baseball commissioner, and told him, quote, get the F out of here. We're not talking about a salary cap. That's not happening. And had to be separated from him. And Manfred stayed in and talked a little longer, but it was clearly uncomfortable. And I guess my question is, Jake, should Major League Baseball have a salary cap?
I mean, I think it's really difficult just to roll that in. I think Major League Baseball is unique in the sense that it's always been a sport that prioritizes spending, and the little guy versus the big guy dynamic, I think, is what makes the game great. Honestly, it's everybody gets upset that, the Yankees or whoever you want to point to, the Dodgers now have all this deferred money and they've got all the best players, but somebody has to be the big dog. And I think that the game needs the usual suspects to be good, because if you put in a salary cap and you try to level the playing field more and more and more, because that's essentially what you're doing with that, you're going to basically be saying to the Dodgers, hey, cool, we don't care that you just spent all this money and had all this massive investment. We want to level the playing field. We want the Angels to be as good as the Dodgers. We want the bad teams to be as good as the best teams in the league. We want parity. And the problem is, I don't think the league needs parity. I think what it needs is more entertainment. It needs to be a more watchable product for the masses, unfortunately, because I love Major League Baseball. I actually hate some of the changes they've made. I think the pitch clock is fine. I'm glad that the shift is gone, but I hate the throwover rule. And I hate, some of the other things they're proposing, but overall the game's not in a bad place. And I just look at this and I say, you're only doing this because you don't want guys like Bryce Harper at the time he got the contract to get those kind of contracts. The 10-year, $700 million deal. You don't want guys getting that kind of money. And it just goes back to every time we talk about it on the show. It's the rich old white guy trying to get into the athlete's pocket and trying to do it under the guise of leveling the playing field and making it fair for everyone. And for me, that's why I don't think Major League Baseball should have a salary cap, because the game thrives on David versus Goliath. And I think dudes who are capable of getting those kind of deals have earned those kind of deals, like Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Ohtani, obviously. Bro, there's a reason they're getting paid that much money. And I just don't think that we should be doing things to stop that.
I would agree with that. I don't think you're ever going to be able to get a salary cap in baseball, simply because I think you've gone too long without one. Does it need it? Yeah, I think it does. Does it need a way to level the playing field so the Dodgers aren't spending billions of dollars with a large majority of that deferred? Yeah, it does. I don't think you're going to be able to get that now. Rob Manfred has not done a good job corralling expectations of the Players Association. And I'm a big believer that we've got to stop shaming the rich in this country. And that's what Rob Manfred's trying to do to Major League Baseball players. Rob Manfred is trying to shame the rich. And I just don't believe in it. And I agree that salaries in Major League Baseball are out of control. But if we're going to have a salary cap, what are you going to do about the Pittsburgh Pirates, who won't spend enough money to even compete? And they have a crown jewel of a ballpark. They've got arguably the best pitcher in baseball, and they're probably going to wind up trading him, right? If not tomorrow, near the deadline, it will happen at some point in the next, in my opinion, 8 months. That's just who they are. And until you figure out what to do, like make the Oakland A's, who are now the Sacramento A's, who are about to be the Las Vegas A's, make them spend money. Make them win games.
Yeah, if anything, you need a salary floor.
I agree.
Like, that's what you
I
need.
100%.
You need to say the minimum you can spend is this.
Yeah, and maybe salary floor is the right way to go about it. I'm a Chicago Cub fan, right? And I'm proud that I say, hey, I'm a Chicago Cubs season ticket holder in Chicago and in Mesa at spring training. I don't know why I do it. I'm a masochist because we don't spend money and we're not trying to win a World Series. And until you fix that, and you've largely got that fixed in Los Angeles because the Dodgers are doing everything they can do. The Yankees and Mets making moves today, doing everything that they can do. Why are the Chicago Cubs not? Because there's nothing forcing them to do that, right? But your major market teams like Philadelphia are. Look at the move the Seattle Mariners made today. Tell me they're not trying to win. They are. But yet you have a crown jewel of Major League Baseball like the Chicago Cubs, to this point, haven't done everything they can do to win a game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing to me. And we're going to sit here, and maybe salary floors are really interesting. I hadn't heard that about baseball, but that's a really interesting concept. Spend a minimum. It's like the NBA forcing you to have a minimum number of players and salary spent on your cap and on your roster.
Yep.
Have a minimum salary
Because
they have to spend.
That way, if you want to be a bad team and hide inside the money and try to make excuses, you're going to wind up paying a big name player, and that's it. And it'll be very clear what you're trying to do. You're just trying to meet the threshold, but you're not trying to win.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the playing field, like you look at the competitive balance tax, that has done nothing. That has done nothing. Teams are finding a way. You guys, look at how much money the Dodgers have deferred. It's scary. Like that is, you want to talk about national debt? They have national debt deferred for the next decade. Billions of dollars in deferments. It's wild to me. The Mets are still paying off Bobby Bonilla. Like we have Happy Bobby Bonilla Day every year.
Yes.
Like I understand it. The owners want to cry poor and blame the players. The owners are the problem. They're not the solution.
Mm-hmm.
A salary cap won't make owners spend money. I'm telling you that.
No,
now.
it'll allow them to be more profitable.
Delaric, maybe a cap like a combination of NBA and NFL, make it a soft cap with luxury tax. If over, must spend 80%. Yeah, they have the competitive balance tax, right? And I want to make sure I get it right. A team's taxable payroll is calculated based on the average annual value of each player's contract on the 40-man, right? Plus the player's benefits. And the purpose of that tax is to promote a competitive balance, but it doesn't. It does not promote a competitive balance. That's the biggest problem with it. It just doesn't. But that's,
why are we trying to reward not spending money? That's what I don't understand. Why would you put a salary cap in and reward the teams who want to trade Paul Skeens? Why are we doing that? Why do we demonize the Dodgers for spending all that money and then deferring it? Like, why? There's no reason to, right? Like, shouldn't we be celebrating the fact that, hey, they're trying to win? Like, they're getting creative with how they spend their billions of dollars on their players. Like,
I don't disagree.
Like, I don't know, bro. I think that it's not, it's not sexy in the league office that the Dodgers are doing what they're doing, except for the fact that it's amazing when the league goes viral, when Ice Cube is out here rapping his new song in the Dodger Stadium outfield all the way to the mound. Then you love it.
Well, it's amazing.
But when you want to talk about parity in the league, then you want to crucify them, and you don't want to talk about the Pirates or the Rays or, whoever not doing what they can. And this is my thing.
Yeah.
Like teams like the Cubs, like, unfortunately, the Cubs are not a problem right now. Like, they're good. They've spent enough money. They're not terrible. They're not World Series
Ballpark's
good.
full.
Ballpark's full. Like, they're doing the right thing. For the
Ballpark
league.
on the road is full.
Now, for guys like us who are fans and want to see them win a World Series, it's frustrating. But the reality is, in the bigger picture, with the economics of the league, the Cubs are fine.
Yeah,
it's the bottom feeder teams who have grubby old owners who don't want to spend money. I don't want to hear about
the Angels and Artie Moreno.
The Angels, Mike Trout. just rotting in that stadium.
Even though they made a trade today, which, we'll see how consequential it is, but they made a trade today, and it's wild to say, but the Angels are only 2 games under 500, right? Ed Enriquez, thoughts on Cam making the comment the WNBA will pass Major Cam Newton, retired NFL quarterback, said that he believes the WNBA will pass Major League Baseball within 20 years in popularity.
Yeah, and that's why he's irrelevant.
I think that's a big stretch. I think that's a huge, when you again, Caitlin Clark is the only real marketable figure in that league right now. Don't even get me started.
Yeah,
I think that's far-fetched. I think that's really far-fetched.
We need to get to some better materials with our new donation, because Oak State James is going full red ass mode about his teams. First of all, that one right there, this is incredible right here. So the Wolf got his co-workers together. The Wolf has a second donation of which came from his co-workers.
Oh, dude, you're unbelievable. Wolf of advocates.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Ryan Helsey to the New York Mets. The Cubs need bullpen arms. Anyway, the Wolf makes $101 donation to the advocates. Thank you so much, Wolf. I really appreciate that. John Ham, $15 for the kids and to help the Monty Show Big Ten hater hot takes. Still like the show, even with big nonsense takes. Okay, John Ham. Okay, John Ham. I appreciate that $15, dude. And I appreciate you being here every day. Oak State Jamal. I'm sorry. Syracuse Donovan McNabb fan, James White, says, Monty kids, I went to college at Oak State and I'm currently a student at TCU. Those are my teams. It's not that hard to understand.
Shut the fuck up.
Signed, Syracuse's biggest fan,
dude.
Oak State, Syracuse, James.
Signed, president of the Kyle McCord knee padding club. Come on, bro.
I love it.
What do you mean it's not that hard to understand? What do you mean?
Yeah. And you guys look at what we've done here. 10, 15, right? That's 50. That's 75. That's 176. That's $186 in 5 minutes. That's what's remarkable about it. Get on Venmo, Advocates Donations. And Oak State James, I appreciate you, man.
Don't tell me it's not that hard to understand, dude. Thank you for the donation and nice take, but actually it is that hard to understand.
It is that hard to understand. Just sent the money, he said. Yes, thank you. Appreciate that. James, be a better man. He's a good man.
He's a good dude, but that doesn't mean I'm letting him off the leash for his teams.
Big Daddy Magic. Hey, player, our beloved Victor won't play for French team this summer. I said no Victor since mid-February makes Big Daddy Magic sad. I mean, at some point, do you worry that Victor's going to get a restraining order against you?
No.
Who takes out a restraining order against Big Daddy Magic first? AJ DeBanza or you're a good man, dude. Good to see you, Big Daddy Magic. James, be better, man. Thank you, RJC. He didn't say you're a better. He said be better.
Yeah, he said be better, dude.
By the way, did you guys hear that the Guardians want to trade Quan and Bieber? Cheap owner moves. Yeah, and Bieber is supposedly a top target for the Chicago
more concerned
Cubs.
about changing their name than winning ball games.
Well, and Bieber, and this is a problem with the Cubs. And I think we've talked about this a lot. The Cubs are in on secondary starters. Right. And I think that you have guys that could make a difference. But Emmanuel Clase, this gambling thing with Clase in Cleveland, did you guys hear about that? He's on administrative paid leave because he is being investigated for intentionally throwing balls on the first pitch of at-bats for the benefit of daily fantasy. I think that's going to be awfully difficult to prove. I don't know that you can't even get near that. But listen, if they trade their guys, and if Quan and I hate to even get near it. I hate to get near it. I think that it is very difficult.
Get near what? Adding him?
For Cleveland to trade them. Like that is really tough to imagine trading him. Like we haven't seen him since what, April 2nd? Shane Bieber. I mean, I don't even know. Is that and this is going to sound like a moronic statement, but is that a good deal for the Cubs? Is that a good deal for the Cubs? I think it's tough to say that that's a good deal for the Cubs.
I mean, I think what you're buying there is you're buying the upside. You're buying the chance that, hey, this guy will come back. He'll be great for 90 days where we need him, and then we'll retrade or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what that move is. That's not a, hey, we're going after a number one. And I agree. Some people are like, oh, he's still number one. I don't think he's a number one. He's not healthy enough. I love the curveball, love the fastball, love him as a pitcher. Great mechanics, really, has everything he needs, but just too injury prone to be a number one. And I still maintain that, yes, the Cubs need frontline pitching. That'd be nice.
But he's coming off a TJ. Let's remember he a year and a half ago, he had Tommy John.
He did, but I think guys who come off a TJ, some of them come back better. Others do not.
But if you're like the team, it is supposedly the Cubs and the Dodgers down to the bone on Shane Bieber. Is that a risk that if you're the Chicago Cubs, because you need him to replace James Steele.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to make a Shane Bieber deal, you need him to replace Justin Steele, who's out with Tommy John surgery. You don't have a number two guy. In my opinion, I shouldn't say that. You don't have a number one. Shota was pretty good, is pretty good. Boyd's pretty good, but Bieber post TJ, next year, he could be your number one. Right? But are you trying to win a World Series right now? Now, if the Dodgers make that move, I totally understand it.
Yeah.
I totally understand it. Also, Bieber has a player option this upcoming free agency. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a huge contract from the Yankees or Dodgers. The Dodgers cannot give him a huge contract.
No, they don't have the bandwidth.
He'd be a rental. In my opinion, his best landing spot is the Cubs. Everybody wants to play there. Look at Kyle Tucker essentially begging for that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not sure that I am a buyer on what the Cubs are doing at the deadline.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced of that. Jake, is gambling a problem, in your opinion? Is gambling a problem in Major League Baseball?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's no way to say it's not a problem. I mean, you look at the Clase situation, and he's only in that situation because Luis Ortiz is involved in a probe by Major League Baseball and is also on leave. So I look at this and I say, like, dude, at some point, Major League Baseball has to do a better job with this. And I think what's particularly bothersome about the Clase thing is the pitches themselves. I agree it's going to be difficult to prove he did it intentionally, but man, the tape is damning, dude. The tape is really damning. And the stats along with that tape are particularly damning, not in his favor, obviously. So is it a problem? Yeah, it's a problem. Does Major League Baseball, need to figure out a way to prevent these guys from doing this? Yeah, they probably need a better system or way to do this. But the reality is it's hard to prevent a guy from, talking to his under the table bookie and trying to make some money that way. And to that, I say, dudes are consistently making poor decisions. Like I was listening to so I can't remember what show it was, but basically they brought up the point that let's say that Clase is guilty. Do you understand, like how deep with the Sharks you have to be, if you will? Do you understand the kind of trouble you would have to be in as a Major League Baseball player to be doing what he's accused of doing. And that's the part to me that's more bothersome. Like I take it back to the Jonte Porter thing and like some of the stuff in the NBA, the Terry Rozier thing. Like these guys are getting in trouble. And
no question.
I understand that, you know, there are enough human beings involved in these sports that inevitably you're going to have, you know, 5% of them be this guy that has a gambling problem, that, you know, then got in too deep, that then had to start affecting lines to get out of it.
Do you think Clase did this? He's accused of intentionally, like there's about a dozen video pitches on video where he's bouncing a first pitch strike.
Here's the reason I think there's
or
a
a first pitch not to be a strike. Intentionally throwing a ball to lead off an at bat or an inning.
The reason that I think there's a decent chance he is guilty of doing this is because he's only been brought up and been put on leave because of somebody else's probe. They were looking into Luis Ortiz.
Right. But isn't that how you always get cooked?
Right.
Because this is so innocuous. And if you're not a huge baseball fan, maybe you don't understand. This is like a guy missing a free throw. You're like, oh, well, he missed one. He missed the front end of a 1-and-1. Or he missed the first of or he missed an and one. You have no idea. Did he miss that free throw intentionally? Like this is a guy throwing a ball.
I think the problem is that there's a difference. The way he threw these pitches, like to use the free throw comparison you just did, this would be like an NBA player like throwing it off the backboard. The way he was throwing these pitches, like
you're
talking about throwing a fastball 5 feet short of home plate, like spiking it. Like it looks unnatural. It looks intentional, honestly. Like you're talking about one of the best closers in the game, and you just come in and you're just trying to find it. Like, come on, dude.
Bro, this Ryan Helsley deal going from St. Louis to the Mets, the Cardinals are getting Jesus Baez, Nate Dome, and Frank Ellisalt. Do you guys understand that the Mets today gave up 6 really good prospects to get 2 short relievers to put in front of Edwin Diaz? I was talking to a guy, Greg, old Greg, I think it is, on the show. And dude, the price that these guys are paying, are you seeing the amount of capital it is costing teams to make a deal in Major League Baseball? That's obscene for them to give that up. And it makes me wonder, like, are the Cubs doing the right thing or the wrong thing, not paying these high prices? I have no idea. Because the team that nobody's talking about right now is the Arizona Diamondbacks have not made a single deal. They have not traded Suarez or either of their 2 pitchers, and really 3 pitchers. Is it because they're trying to hold their price high? I don't know. But I think gambling's a huge problem for baseball, and I think it's very close to Major League Baseball and the NBA. Because I think prop betting is really dangerous in every sport. NFL, we've had scandals in every sport. Like you had Samuel suspended in the NFL. You've had multiple guys in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, who was the guard that it wasn't Rozier. Who was the guard that was like losing the ball out of bounds? And I can't remember who that was, but recently, right?
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
But it's just crazy to me that we have this many problems. Yeah, well, billionaire owners are going to figure out how spending is out of control. They better. That's right. Does this mean that the Guardians are a corrupt organization? Well, when you have multiple players, what it tells me is you're not willing. Malik Beasley.
Yeah.
You're not willing to do what it takes to keep your guys in line. Mets owner is aggressive. Yes, he is, Big Blue Horses. Mr. Preston, how the heck are you, buddy? Hope you and yours are well. Let's go Mets. They're going. There's no doubt about that. Dude that abides, wrong. Ken Holland had no clue how to handle the cap. Other GMs handle it just fine. You could be right. No doubt. Big Daddy Magic, I have only met AJ once, but I will get a picture with him by the end of August. If I do get a picture with him, you have to buy me a red. No, I don't. No, I do. I should just buy you one so you'll stop. If I buy you a red Buffalo Bills shirt, do you promise for 12 months never to mention Victor Wembanyama on this show? If I buy you a red long sleeve Buffalo Bills shirt, you can never mention Victor on the show again. It's probably over the top.
Probably.
It's probably over the top. I have a friend who's from Cleveland, and trust me, Bailey, I know all your guys' pain. The owner of Cleveland ruined the potential of the city. The Browns, Guardians, Cavs. It's been a long. This Shedeur Sanders thing yesterday we were talking about. The owner like, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. King of Thailand. I sent $60 for the kids. Thank you, Monty, for caring. And he corrected himself and said 50. The King
nice
of
job,
Thailand.
bro. Nice job.
Thank you. Look at that. A couple $100 in 20 minutes. You guys, that's legit. And I really appreciate you guys doing that. We'll do a lot more tomorrow. But anyway, I think Major League Baseball is a big problem. Cleveland, I know you're paying, dude. I'm a Chicago fan. And the Browns moving off the lakefront, Bears moving off the lakefront. The Indians / Guardians not doing what needs to be done to win. The Cubs not doing what needs to be done to win. The Cavs blowing it at opportunities. Hey, at least you went and got players. At least you got Donnie on that roster, right? And you had Lonzo, and you're trying to win. Bulls are not trying to win. Bulls are not trying to win in any way, shape, or form. Wasikowskinator. Donald Trump is the best. No, I'm kidding. Salary cap isn't working in the NBA, so it won't work in Major League Baseball. I don't think the cap is unsuccessful in the NBA. But as with any system, general managers are going to find a way to manipulate it. And the problem is the CBAs are too long, but you can't afford to sign a CBA because of work stoppages. So when it is not unlike any scenario where you're learning a system, right? Like AI just eating up power in this country.
Yeah.
Did you guys see speaking of Donald Trump, did you see the numbers that the energy department put out about the natural gas and electricity that AI is eating in this country? It is crazy how much money these data farms take, and they're trying to invest and build solar infrastructure to offset that. I think it was the energy department yesterday who said that it would take over a decade of consistent solar development just to get to a point where it's not a drain on just the electrical grid. Because we'll never catch up in natural gas. But have you guys ever thought about how much computer power AI takes when you get on ChatGPT, or you get on Alexa, or you get on, any of the AI platforms? I never thought about it until my wife mentioned it to me a couple of weeks ago. And now it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It is just wild. BDM, I'll bet you a shirt, Chiefs versus Bills in the playoffs. I thought you were a Cowboy fan. James, you said you were a Cowboy fan.
Changes by the day, bro. But it's not that complicated, apparently.
Bailey Dietrich Gabriel, I believe in your statement. It's like having 3 elephants in the room. There you go. Right? Gabriel, that reminds me of the massive problem of local sports TV rights in MLB. Oh, geez. You have no idea. You have no idea what a problem that is. Big Daddy Magic. Okay, James, if the Bills win, you have to buy me a Buffalo Bills shirt. And if they lose, Jake will buy you a $50 book gift card.
I'm not buying you a book gift card.
Notice Big Daddy Magic never puts his own money in the pot, right? Toot pants. People are worried about, should they be worried about AI stealing jobs? I don't think so. Listen, you guys, I'll say this about AI, and I've been talking about this. We've been talking about this. If you are not integrating AI into what you do for a living, it's a mistake. Like, we're really working on one of our side hustles we are heavily using AI now. And it's life-changing. But now it's in my head, the electricity and the natural gas resources that are being sucked up by AI. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Real quick, 2 other stories I want to get to. And you guys tell me what you think about this. Because I'm curious what you guys think about. Do we have that graph? Yes. Did you guys see this? What's the better lineup? Is it Saban, McAfee, Herb Street, Desmond, and Corso? And Corso's only going to be week 1. He's retiring. Or is it Pervin, Portnoy, Leinart, BQ, and Mark Ingram? Man, I don't even think it's close. I think ESPN's got far better talent. Because the biggest knock I have on Urban Meyer is exactly what I love about Nick Saban. Nick Saban doesn't care. He has strong opinions about people and teams. Pervin Liar doesn't want to say anything to offend people, right? So, okay, I don't know what Dave Portnoy is, so I have to check the box on Pat's side of the ledger there because I don't think we know what Portnoy is. But, man, what'd you say to me about Portnoy in the pre-show?
He's got to be good for that to work, man. He's got to
be a monster.
He's got to be really good, dude.
He's got to create headlines.
Yeah, and you know the problem is Matt Leinart and Brady Quinn are the same guy in my opinion. You know that's you know, with all due respect to those guys, like you're the same guy, right? Like I look at ESPN's lineup, none of those dudes fill the same role, right? Like Nick Saban and Pat McAfee, 2 different guys. You know, Herb Street and Desmond Howard, 2 different guys, right? And Reese is just the guy that brings them all together. It just keeps the plane flying in a straight line.
Yep, totally agree.
So, you know, I look at the bottom for Fox. My problem is that number one, you don't have a guy that just flies the plane, right? Number one, and I don't care
Rob
who that
Stone's
is.
pretty good.
Yeah, but you know, he's not Reese Davis.
He's not Reese Davis.
And you know, I don't know. I think that Fox has proving to do. I think that they have an opportunity. I think that, you know, it will be good for them to see what Dave can do. But I'm not. You can't say that the Fox lineup is better than ESPN right now. You just can't.
I don't think you can check that box. I really don't. Why isn't Brady Quinn that one Browns QB, dude? I don't know, but we saw
him. You see
him.
what I mean about this? Like Brady Quinn and Matt Leinart are the same dude on that broadcast.
Exactly, and they talk in the same tone and cadence. Like Desmond Howard and Mark Ingram aren't that different.
No,
right? They talk in the same cadence. They fill the same player role. Herb Street's the quarterback, but I think Herb Street is so old that people don't even know that he played at Ohio State.
Yeah, I don't look at him
right?
as a quarterback.
People don't know that, but he's still excellent at what he does.
Yes.
I just think ESPN has a big advantage.
And I just think Nick Saban is a better former coach than Pervin is.
I would agree.
That's the problem.
I would agree.
And so that's
is it just comfortable to say Pervin?
It is. Yeah, I don't even have to say Urban anymore. It's Pervin. That's it. And everyone knows who I'm talking about. And by the way, how many times, and this is me fanboying over the fact that college football is about to be back, and football in general is. But how many times are you gonna turn on the Fox broadcast over the College Game Day broadcast when you're out on your early Saturday morning tea time? If,
and again, I say, if Dave Portnoy delivers, it's magic. Right? Make sure you hit the like button. If you are watching on X, and again, I'm so thankful for everybody on X. We are at now 78,000 people watching the show on the X platform right now live. Welcome to the Monty Show. Please give us a thumbs up, which is to hit the like button. Please retweet the show if you're watching the show. I know that's uncouth. They tell me I always get suggestions from people who DM me. You say retweet the show far too much. Okay, share the show. I guess do you call it Twitter anymore thing? I still call it Twitter. I know I vacillate back and forth between X and Twitter. I get it. And I appreciate everybody on the X platform watching the show. If you're on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up. If you're on X, please click the link above in my bio on X and come on over to YouTube, subscribe and give us a thumbs up. It helps the channel grow. Big Daddy Magic. Okay, when the Bills win, you have to buy me a red shirt, Buffalo Bills. If somehow the Bills lose, Monty will take you out of on the town for dinner and a movie, late night bowling.
In the Honda.
I'll get in the Honda. No, that's a lie. I will. Yes, like button casuals. Yes, please hit the like button. And I know this is one of the slower seasons on YouTube. We have we always experience the July doldrums on YouTube.
The dog days, bro.
The dog days. It really is. And it's funny, I was just texting with a friend of mine. We've put a lot of SEO and growth and development on the X platform because they really prioritize live shows, live events on X. Same on YouTube. And we really appreciate that. If you're not following me on TikTok, please do. The Monty Show, Monty, The Monty Show. Car content, golf content, sports content as well.
We have a new donation that is quite savory.
We have a new donation that is quite savory. Maury Alvarez, Pedo State is the endless colonoscopy prep. Wow. Wow. Maury Alvarez for 20. There he is. Maury Alvarez for $20. He's always here, you guys.
Yeah.
We were talking about you earlier, Maury, that you have your own family to look after, and we know that you're a hard worker who spends far too much money at Disneyland because you're one of those guys that's a Disney adult. And listen, I judge you for that, but it's okay. Okay. Are you excited to go to Disneyland?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm trying to convince Mrs. Monty to go to Disneyland in November when we're in Los Angeles. She's refusing on principle alone. But we're going to Disneyland for New Year's. We're going to Disneyland in Paris, France for New Year's. Should we make it a stop in Los Angeles, Orange County for Thanksgiving?
I mean,
would you do that? No, I'd rather play golf, bro.
Well,
you're not wrong. I'm not a huge Disney guy. And I am the only one in my family, legit. I'm the only one in my family that's not like dying to go to Disneyland in Paris. I'm going to go. I'm going to walk around Disneyland. I'm not a guy that gets on rides. The fat ass, kills 1,000 people because the train tracks gave way.
Train tracks.
The roller coaster track broke under fat ass.
Well, Monty rode a roller coaster that goes upside down and the harness gave out, Like, come on.
There would be like all kinds of conspiracy theorists about the blimp that was floating over. No, now I'm going to
Infowars.com.
I'm just not a huge Disney guy. I don't hate it. I am not the guy who wants to go to Disneyland in June.
Your deal is packed. You don't like the public. That's your deal. You're not a big go out.
Let's not get carried away. Let's not get carried away. I don't want to hang out with people who aren't on my level. Okay.
Right,
no, I'm kidding. It's funny. I went to my doctor today and we talked about COVID and I said, hey, I was talking about vaccinations, right? Like I know
everybody gets a test.
Yeah. Microchips in my body. I totally
The coronavirus.
First of all, my wife reminded me I needed a tetanus shot, right? Because I scraped my knee on a rusty nail.
Right.
That never happened. But I asked him, I had a tetanus shot in 2023. I had no idea I had a tetanus shot in 2023. Don't remember that I had a tetanus shot. I got my pneumonia vaccine right on time since I had pneumonia in April.
Man, wow.
Right? But he's like, yeah, we don't do COVID vaccines during the summer anymore. We're treating it like the flu shot now. And it's like, okay, cool. I'm like, you got any hanging around that I can have? Or, no, he didn't. SeaWorld awaits in San Diego. Never going to SeaWorld.
Excellent strategy, sir.
I'm that guy who's like, free the whales, dude. Free the whales. I'm not. There was this big brand new aquarium in Phoenix, and people are like, oh, we got to go. No, dude. Dolphins ain't supposed to be in tanks.
No.
Like if I'm a terrible person. We all know how Monty feels about the unwashed masses.
I'm just saying, you're not a Disney adult. And I get it.
But am I a bad person for not wanting to be around huge groups of people? I don't even like flying. I want my own private. I need to rock my private jet.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Monty won't let me buy a private jet because I bought an X4M, which is more expensive than a private jet, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even like flying on planes because, like, we're always. I think the last 2 trips we've taken, I got sick, and this time my wife got sick. I just don't know that you can stay healthy flying on a plane. And God forbid you would put on a mask because then you're a leper.
Peasant.
Right? You're peasant. Oh, look at that guy in first
Sheep.
class. He's wearing a mask. What a sheep. Right? I'm happy to sit in first class with a mask on. Happy to do it. Plus, it's too hot to enjoy the rides nowadays.
But
global,
see, that's the
global
thing.
warming's not real.
But that's the thing. When we're in Paris, it's not going to be hot. It's going to be cold.
Which I don't understand why we're going to Disneyland in the middle of winter. But I don't have a say. I wanna repopulate the earth while I'm in France. I gotta go to Disneyland.
Pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers
Right?
in this racket.
Right? I gotta go to Disneyland.
Length and girth.
You know. Wasikowski, I drive 16 hours back up to Michigan to avoid people. Well, let's not get carried away, man. That's a long drive. I drive to LA.
I think that you don't get the chance to go to Disneyland in Paris very often. So I just think
I'm not unexcited about it. It's just not.
It's okay to say you're not looking forward.
Like we
to
were
it,
talking
like
about
you're
it.
tolerating
We were talking about it at dinner over the weekend. The Louvre. No, I'm not going to the Louvre on Christmas because you and I both know that is just going to be butt cheek to butt cheek in the Louvre that time of year. You know how many people are going to be in Paris for Christmas?
Yeah.
And then 5 days later, we're going to Milan. Mrs. Monty and I are going to Milan.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling that.
Yeah. So in case you're wondering, we're going to be off for like a month, just so you know. Okay.
Dude, I'm not trying to belabor this point. I am ready for the last 2 weeks of the year to be here.
Yeah.
I do. The only thing that I'm more excited about is going to Chicago. I hope the Cubs make the playoffs. I want to go to Jake won't be able to go to Chicago in October. My wife is going to be on a Viking cruise with her mom. Like I think quite literally I'm going to wind up going to the Chicago Cubs playoff games alone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, geez, Louise, I whatever. But I need a break. I'm ready for, and you guys always ride us when we take a Friday off, or you guys understand once football kicks off, we're 7 days a week. We work 7 days a week during the football season.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes a grind. And so I'm already like, and I don't know what you guys think about this, but I'm already at a point where I'm like, God, dog, it is August.
Yeah.
How is it August? How is it August?
Because we work all day. That's how.
It is crazy how fast it's gone. Cheek to cheek in the loo. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Exact. People are exhausting. Yes, they are. But Disney Golf is in Florida is great. Is it really? Is it really? Sad face. It's true. Changing climates and elevations quickly can make you sick. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. Now, it's like the issue is like when we went to Chicago in April, I legit got pneumonia. And I don't think it was at the Cubs game. I think it was on the plane because we had that lady and her kid coughing up a lung. And we were in first class and they were 3 rows behind us.
Yeah.
And then I wind up with popcorn lung and no voice and I'm coughing all over the place.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
And that took forever to get over that.
Oh my God.
Months.
Oh my. And now my wife's got something similar. Although she went to the doctor, doesn't have pneumonia or anything. She went through a round of antibiotics, but she's where I was. Now she just randomly coughs. We're laying in bed last night at 2:00 in the morning and she's got like a 3-minute coughing fit. Just out of nowhere. And I feel terrible because there's nothing you can do about it. And it's just wild. Take your breaks, guys. The content you deliver is worth whatever breaks you need. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. I will go to Chicago with you if you take me to see them Punk's house, CM Punk's house. Okay. No, that's not going to happen. People are discussing. I don't understand why people would travel sick without a mask. It makes me crazy.
Now to me, that's different than whether you wear a mask or not when you're fully healthy. Like if you're already sick but you have to travel, you should be covering that.
Put
up.
a mask on.
Yeah,
man.
you should be covering that up, bro.
All right, let's talk about the doctor. Non-sports stories of the day is always brought to you by our friends at Prize Picks. Prize Picks, America's favorite daily fantasy app. Absolutely cooked last night. I want to thank me because I got a good bounce back win last night.
I want to thank me for having no days off.
You know that I struggled 2 nights ago, right? And last night we came back huge. Bryce Harper hit on the under on 1.5 total bases. And I cannot say enough how in this day and age reliable, even without Aaron Judge, the New York Yankees are. And I think the fact that Volpe came through with 2 hits was huge. I had him at 1 hit, run, and RBI. Dude, came through huge last night. And of course, Max Fried, less the consternation of my pitching picks in the last month. Do you guys know? Like if I pick a pitcher to go, he was 4.5 strikeouts last night. I'll get to it'll be at 4 and then he'll have 1 hitter left. He'll strike him out to get to 5. That's been my life, right? Not Max Fried. 9 strikeouts last night. 2 or 3. Whew, I needed that after a couple of nights ago when Pete Crow Armstrong and Bryce Harper let me down.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, that was not good. Prize Picks, America's favorite daily fantasy app. Make sure you guys open up a new Prize Picks account. Use the promo code Monty. You deposit $5, they'll give you 50 more in free plays. It is easy money. WNBA, stay away from it because I want it. But Natasha Cloud back with the champs in New York. I'm ready for it. I am not going to Prize Pick on the WNBA. I will feel bad. All right, let's talk about the doctor today because everybody's been DMing me and asking me.
How did it go? What happened?
Well, I think I misrepresented why I was going to the doctor. One, literally 30 people are like, "Hey, good luck with the colonoscopy today." I wasn't having a colonoscopy.
Right.
I described the colonoscopy I had last year. So I apologize if I misled you. 2, I have no illnesses. I am healthy. I don't know why so many people were like, "Hey, I hope the doctor gives you good news." I was going for my annual physical. So I'm not sick. I wasn't getting a colonoscopy. Thank you to everybody who reached out. I really appreciate that. I had a great visit with the doctor today. Absolutely a clean bill of health. Listen to my heart, listen to my lungs. Everything's great. I am wildly healthy. He did my blood. And for instance, my lipid panel, my triglycerides are at a 53. I have my results right here. My LDL cholesterol is at a 99. Perfect. My HDL cholesterol is at a 52, which is perfect, right in the middle of the range. Everything's perfect. I have no issues. My A1C is absolutely right down the middle, which I'm thrilled about. You look at my A1C number. It is 5. So anything below 5.9 is completely normal. Everything's great until we start talking about me being fat. Right. And I only joke with you about this, but my doctor tells me every year, "What are we doing about it? What are we doing about it?"
Right.
What are we doing about it?
And you said yesterday that you knew he was going to ask you about it.
I did know he was going to ask me about it. And he wants me to, because I weigh 17 pounds less than I weighed a year ago. So my weight is much lower. My body fat percentage is significantly lower. but I carry all of my weight in my abdomen. And obviously, as my doctor said to me today, and as I've said on this show 100 times, so I'm not really surprised he said it to me, it's all good until it's not. And he said, we were talking about it. You're 52 years old. He said, you're incredibly healthy. But we need to start making strides to lower your abdominal fat. We have got to find a way to get the fat off of the middle of your body. And so we talked about tirzepatide, and I am split on whether I should get it or not. He submitted it to my insurance because without insurance, it's about $1,200 a month if you go through a standard pharmacy. So he submitted it to my insurance, and we're waiting to see if my insurance covers it. He is recommending Zepbound is the name of the tirzepatide, and he is recommending it because he no longer prescribes Wegovy, because Wegovy is not as dialed in as Zepbound is. So Zepbound apparently is the newest compound that is designed to have less impact on your pancreas and to be less impactful on your digestive system. So I'm really considering it because I don't need to lose hundreds of pounds. I'm not morbidly obese. Like we were going through, like one of the things he did is he audited my diet today. We were talking about healthy habits, and he said, well, I have kind of a measuring stick. And he said, I need to document all of this in your chart so your insurance company will approve it. So I was showing him my food diary because a lot of days I keep a food diary. And he was like, you're eating all the right things. Because I get almost no saturated fat ever. The only time I get saturated fat is if I eat a pizza or a slice of cheese. That's it. I really don't get saturated fat because I eat a very lean cut of meat. So I really don't eat high fatty red meats ever. I don't eat like sausage, or I don't eat, like cured meats ever. I never eat bacon. So we were just talking about it, and I'm pretty much dead on my macros. I get most of my carbs in the morning with my oats. Like it's half a cup of oats, 4 ounces of berries. It is creatine. It is collagen peptides, chia seeds, and a tablespoon of peanut butter. That's what's in my oats. So like we're in great shape. We're doing all these right things. I need to get more cardio in. That's essentially what it came down to.
He said that too?
Yeah, because I have really good lean muscle. I need to get fat off. I need to cut.
Yeah.
So the number's 2,300 calories. And we've got to get as many steps as possible. He even said, you don't need to be running or jogging or sprinting. He's like, just give me 8,000 to 10,000 steps. And in the morning after you're done lifting, he straight up said, give me 20 minutes of lifting, intense weight training, and 30 minutes of steady state cardio. He said, if you do that and we get you on a cycle of Zepbound, I think you're going to see incredible results.
Yeah.
So we'll see what my insurance company says.
What did he think your insurance company would say? I mean, did he have
He said he thought he could get them to approve it.
Okay.
Because he can document that I'm a good case for it, right? Like I have enough weight that I can lose about 50 pounds. If I lose about 50 pounds, it'd be perfect. And he said, usually if it's over 30 pounds of weight loss, usually if you have lifestyle that should support that weight loss, and if you are supported by your physician, they'll approve it. He said they won't approve it for people who apparently your insurance isn't going to pay for it. If you're under 200 pounds, it's very difficult to get your insurance to pay for tirzepatides or semaglutides. Like they just won't do it. So I totally get that. But we're in good shape, man. And I'm very lucky. This is why I always tell you guys, people always are like, oh, how can you be healthy? You're fat. Dude, everybody's body is different, right? People, like I said to him and I play golf. Like I've actually seen him at my local golf course. And he's like, if you couldn't play golf as much as you play golf, if you weren't, because he was asking me about my activity and I was showing him my Apple Health app. And he looked at the day where I walked 22,000 steps in Chicago. And he's like, yeah, you're not, he said, you're not morbidly obese. You're not out of shape. You're not dying. He's like, he said again, I don't know what you would have to eat for how long to even come close to me being concerned about a heart attack or heart disease. He's like, I don't know what that would be. So he said, you just need a little push. And I feel like you'll see good results. And I guess the other thing with this tirzepatide, whatever, Zepbound, is that you don't gain the weight back like you do with Wegovy. So when you take Wegovy, you gain like 35% of the weight back. Apparently, when you use this Zepbound, it is single digits to 12%. And I feel like, hey, that's worth it to me. Like if I can lose 50 pounds and I mean, I would be a shell of myself.
Right.
And I'm not even, the funny thing is we also talked about body composition. And he said, I really don't care about the number as much as I care of getting your body fat percentage down. That's what he wants to see. So we'll see. I'm actually excited about it. Well, and I did Atkins for a long time. The problem is I think we've learned a little more about how important fiber and greens are. One of the things that we were talking about today is I've met with a nutritionist several times, and you have to get vegetables, greens. You need the antioxidants in things like berries. So you need, like, the carnivore diet really makes it different. It's not a low carb diet per se, the carnivore diet. It is reliant on a heavy population of protein, animal-based proteins. And I'm trying to go in the opposite direction. I'd like to cut my animal products. Truly, you guys, you're going to think I'm an idiot. The only animal products I eat regularly are turkey and chicken. I don't eat burgers. I don't eat French fries. The only potatoes I eat are roasted. Like, I just don't eat that stuff. I'll eat like a Snickers bar when I'm playing golf, right? Because I'm burning it. And like when I make the turn in golf, when I go to the back nine, generally I'll have either a protein bar or a Snickers bar. And if I haven't eaten enough during the day, I'll always take the Snickers bar because it just gives me that little bump, right? But other than that, I don't have candy or chips in my house. Were we joking, or was that Mrs. Monty now? We're joking about the fact that we have old jars of salsa in the back of our refrigerator that we threw out yesterday because we don't eat chips. So we have this salsa sitting in our refrigerator. Like,
yeah,
we're doing all this stuff right. It's just hard to win. You know what I mean? It's very difficult to win.
You got to do things you don't want to do.
Yeah. Gabriel, speaking of health, I decided to not eat any burgers for an entire month. I look back at the moment I ate clean, and not only did I feel better, but I also had more energy, and you'll sleep better.
Yep.
That's one of the things that we were looking at today with my doctor. Is he was looking at my sleep stats for the last 2 years, and you can see that my quality of sleep has gone up significantly, mainly because now I'm over 6.5 hours on average per night. And my REM sleep is almost always 80 to 100 minutes a night. And you really want 90 minutes minimum of REM sleep every night. So,
yeah.
The Wolf, tirzepatides have done wonders for me. Which one are you using? Because this Zepbound seems decent. I know people who are on it. So I have a part-time job at Publix, and the amount of people buying healthy food items actually gives me hope. But they always say how expensive it is. Oh, dude, to eat healthier? Oh, my God. Have you looked at the price of meat lately?
Depends what you're willing to cook, dude. I think that you can actually, if you're willing to spend up front, I think it actually can be cheaper in the long term if you're willing to buy at Costco.
Well, and if you're willing to meal prep, you need to meal prep. You need to cook ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because the easy button is McDonald's or fast food or The only fast food I really eat, if you call it fast food, is Chipotle. And now I'm probably not gonna have a whole lot of burritos anymore. I was looking at how many calories a Chipotle burrito is. 1,200 calories, pretty much no matter what you do. The only way to get it under 1,000 is to take the chicken out of it. And I'm just like, damn. John Blackwelder, I have a friend on Zep and I can't believe the change. It's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. And the one thing he did warn me about was not to go to an offline pharmacy, meaning don't go to somebody who just makes compounds and sells it as a semaglutide or tirzepatide. Go to your doctor, get a prescription, go through a pharmacy where you're getting like the Zepbound's an Eli Lilly product, right? So there's a federal regulation in that. There's been a lot of people who have gotten, like your pancreas, I don't know how you guys don't care about this. Your pancreas is what controls your insulin, essentially. And a lot of these compound pharmacies, they're called, all they do is put these compounds together. It hits your pancreas so hard because they're not federally regulated. And you have to be really, really careful with that. Really careful. I'm on compounded. My insurance doesn't work with the way my doc is billing it, so I had to go cheap. Well, just be careful with that. Like Wolf, it's one of those things where you got to be careful. And the frustrating part for me is I know I can do it without. I can't. I've never been able to consistently do it. How did I do it? When I was on the Atkins diet for 18 months. And I lost all that weight and I was super thin. The problem was I also had no muscle mass. That's why one of the things I really hated about it. But I'm all in on it. I'm 52 and I joked with my doctor and he said, when I was joking, I said, I want to believe that I'm halfway through my life. And he said, oh, you can absolutely. He said, with your heart health and your organ health, there's no reason you can't double your lifespan. But you got to get your fat off because eventually he said your hips, knees, and ankles are going to
it'll come for you.
Suffer.
Yep.
And he's like, as much walking as you're doing, especially playing golf, he's like, you're in a place where you're active enough where if you lose the weight, your body will thank you for it and reward you for it. Yeah. Not going to lie, but once I heard about Bucked Up on the show and their stuff actually works ever since I put it in my routine, bro.
Dude, I'm telling you, Bucked Up supplements are gas, bro.
And
they are so good. So good.
I use the whole wide range of their stuff from, again, their creatine, what you guys don't understand about how good collagen is for your entire body. I mean, I use their creatine, I use their collagen, I use their electrolyte product, I use their pre-workout. I mean, everything that Bucked Up puts out generally is really high quality. I honestly, because I essentially go from my house to the store, to the office, to the house, so I don't generally drink anything that's not water and one white Monster every day. That's basically it. And if you're a soda drinker, you want to see results? Give up soda. We gave up soda. Well, you didn't, but I have not had a sip of soda since September of 2013. That's the last time I had a soda. I was at Willie McCovey's Sports Bar in Walnut Creek. And the last soda I had was a Diet Dr. Pepper. And I have not had a sip since then. And one of the amazing things is, what's it do to your A1C? I'm a big believer that sugar's way worse for you than fat. And I believe the only reason that I've been able to keep my A1C and my cholesterol and all my blood work so in line is because I don't drink calories. I do not drink calories. How many calories is in this can? I drink 10 calories. This is I stopped drinking. My doctor agreed with me. I said to him, one of the things I stopped doing is I used to drink a small bottle of, an 8-ounce bottle of orange juice every day, the first thing in the morning. And he said, yeah, it's just going to dump sugar into your system. And he's like, it's great for vitamin C, but it's going to dump sugar into your system. So I have 3 more bottles left. I'll drink those and then I won't keep drinking it. Yeah. So, and what did he say? So glad to hear you're still using creatine. So good for the brain. So good for the muscle fiber. We do a lot of things right. Gabriel, whoa. I don't drink soda anymore. It doesn't taste good anymore. Yeah, I don't know if I could ever go back. Plus, my metabolism is very fast, man. I wish mine was. I do. Suh, dude. Suh, Gumby. Good to see you. Good to see you, my guy. All right. That's it. Show's over. The Monty Show, as always, presented by our good friends at The Advocates. Make sure that you guys are here tomorrow. One more day of fundraising for homeless kids to have school supplies. We'll do that tomorrow. Listen, if you guys can do it, please. 79,000 people watching the show. Please consider donating. If 100 of us donate $10 right now, it'll make a world of difference. Please consider it. Advocates donations. Until tomorrow. Say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.